10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Look at what in my opinion, one of the best
we need you to think you're going to be played against. So they want
I'm a little bit worried about I saw a stat online.
Sergio
He's gonna play at the night. That is the problem. We only have two men now to
I know people have gone on about if we lose the cup, it could be a bit of a situation. I hope to God it
Sergio
doesn't.
Productions.
Welcome to the Blue Lounge. Welcome to the stream. How are you all doing this evening? It's been a minute. It's been a while. It's been a few days where we haven't streamed. Well, I haven't seen you guys. I hope you guys are all doing well. But you can't excuse us as there hasn't been a lot of content to discuss. So I just thought I'd make a stream today where we just discuss everything that's been going on and have a banter. Today's stream is open. Anyone can jump in. Anyone can jump in and be on the panel. All you got to do is click on that link. And you got to be quick because I've only got 10 spaces, 10 slots. But like I said, anybody can jump in. Big up to everyone. I've got a lot of people in from the get-go, so I need to say hello to everyone. Give me a second. Let me start from the top. Big up to Luke Mudway. Big up to you. Welcome to the stream. Big up to John Walker. Yeah, he might be back. John. We'll discuss that. We'll discuss that in a minute. Big up to Blue Clouds TV. Always a pleasure to see you in the chat. I hope you're doing well, my man. I hope you and your family are all doing well. Chris, big up to you, my man. Listen, Chris, today's an open stream. Click on that link and be part of the panel. Be part of the show. Big up to you, Chris. Abdul B, big up to you. Always a pleasure to have you on. Eric Dugan, big up to you. Tobago's in the chat and is also on the panel. So big up to Tobago. Fad Ismail. Yes, sir. Salah to Chelsea. We'll discuss that. James Davis. Big up to you, my man. Haynes, the CFC. Hello, nice to see you back in the chat. Declared, the man who never sleeps. Big up to you, my man. I hope you're doing good. Link is in the chat, Declared. Click on that link and jump on if you can. Who else is in here? Have I missed anybody? George, big up to you. It's been a minute, George. I hope you're doing good. I hope you and your family are all doing well. I have with me on the panel so far, and I know it's going to get bigger as the night gets older. We've got Boogeyman, Tobago, VJ, and Nick Blue. I hope you guys are all doing well. How is everyone?
yeah, good, Mo.
Good to see you guys. Good to see you.
Yeah,
Hey, listen,
I'm good. And you?
it says VJ, but I don't recognize the person I'm talking to. What have you done, VJ, man? What have you done? got a bit carried away with it. Got a bit carried away there, mate.
tried the most child there.
Big up to you, VJ. Tobago, big up to you, Boogeyman. How are you? How you guys doing?
I'm good. How is everybody?
Everyone is good. I've got a few more people jumping in the chat. Aiden and Deo, big up to you. Bobby, Smoke Signals, back on the stream. Bobby, how are you? How you been, my man?
Yeah, good. Hello, guys. Good to be back. Thanks for having me as always.
Nah, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to have you on the show, Bobby. It's a pleasure to have you on the show. Listen, guys, today I want to address some of the stories that have been going around over the past few days, and really talk about them, and get your points of view. People in the chat, if there's a topic you wanna let us, you want us to talk about, you want to ask us any questions, we'll be taking questions today. We'll be just addressing things as they pop up, as they come apparent. Now, there's a couple of stories that I really want to address in the show tonight, so we'll give them a good chunk of time. I will address everything else. The three stories that I want to talk about is the apparent unrest in or within our camp when it comes to our attackers. Apparently, some of our attackers are keen to leave, or they'd be up for that opportunity should it arise, or they're not happy with the role they have been given. There's a lot of different angles that this has been approached in respect to Callum Hudson-Odoi, Christian Pulisic, Timo Werner, and Hakim Ziyech. Now, apparently Hakim Ziyech is being moved away from that group as he has performed reasonably well over the past couple of games. Thus, he is happier to stay. Well, that's what the media would have you believe. That if the player is performing, he's happy to stay. If he's not performing, he wants to go. Therefore, he's not performing because of something the manager is doing, rather than because he isn't performing. So it's a little bit of a conundrum, I guess. So we'll be discussing that story. Also, the Ousmane Dembele story and the fact that he is being pushed out by Xavi, and he is likely to leave before this transfer window shuts in a few days. And he's apparently looking to move to the Premier League. And one of the clubs that seem to be interested in him is Chelsea. So we've talked about that before, but I want to give it a little bit more time as it's coming closer to the transfer deadline. And the third and final story is, remember? Mohamed Salah, Mo Salah. Mo Salah, his contract expires in 18 months. He is not happy with what he has been offered at Liverpool. Thus, he is possibly looking to leave at the end of his contract in 18 months if he isn't offered, or he would be sold because Liverpool can't afford to let Mohamed Salah leave on a free transfer in 18 months. Therefore, he could potentially be sold in the summer window if he doesn't sign a contract. And that's what's been reported. To be fair, it's been reported by mainly tabloid newspapers. And apparently Chelsea are one of the clubs monitoring this situation. And again, like I said, it's tabloid newspaper story. Now, I want to discuss the weight of the story and whether or not we should be considering it, whether or not Chelsea should be considering it, considering his, his form, his performances, and also he was one of us. Briefly noted, but he was one of us. So we'll be discussing that story as well. So those are the three stories I want to be discussing. And again, you people in the chat, you're more than welcome to jump on. You can jump on for a minute, say what you got to say and leave, or you can, stay with us on the panel for the rest of the night. It's really down to you guys. Today is an open stream, so everyone is welcome. I've also had Showtime jump on. Showtime, big up to you. How are you, my man? You're doing good?
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. Wa alaikum assalam, Showtime. I hope you're doing good, my brother.
Alhamdulillah, you?
Alhamdulillah, yeah, I'm fine, man. I'm fine. I've got a slight migraine, thus got my head tired. Just took some painkillers, but my head is still hurting me.
Yeah, you
So
had me checking every
hopefully-
day at work. Like, no stream this week.
No stream. Yeah, no.
I was now busy at work this week, so I was like, man, no stream. So I
No
got
streams.
bored.
Yeah. I've got a couple of streams lined up with some guests. Just got to confirm the days. But I'm trying to get as many of the Chelsea community, the Chelsea YouTubers, to come here and talk to us on the Blue Lounge. So hopefully I've got a couple more guys lined up. So we have some good Q&As coming up. Since we started talking, we've had a few more people jump in. Leon Spence, big up to you. EE, big up to you. I can't pronounce the name, so I'll just say big up to you. And who else is in here? Andreas Ibrahim, big up to you, my man. Thank you for the message you sent me. Much appreciated. Football Styles, Wissam, big up to you. Wissam. All right, now, what story should we start on? Let me have a look. Dembele. Let's start with the striker situation or the attacker situation. I'm going to start with Bobby since we haven't talked to Bobby for quite some time. So I'll let Bobby kick us off. And once Bobby says his piece, it's an open discussion tonight, so everybody can come in and comment on this topic. Bobby, Timo Werner, Christian Pulisic, Hakim Ziyech, Callum Hudson-Odoi, these players have been apparently speaking. Apparently Pulisic and Timo Werner have said things to allude to the fact that they're not happy with the role they're playing, with the amount of games they're having, and they're open to opportunities elsewhere. You've read the reports, you've seen the stories. What do you make of this whole situation and the fact that Hakim Ziyech was part of this group and now he's no longer part of this group per media speculation? So kick us off on this topic, Bobby.
For the past, I think about 2 weeks now, I have really avoided the so-called Chelsea community. This time, particularly a lot of content makers. I've been very selective. I'm very glad to see VJ here. I think VJ has been quite exemplary in his focus. He's been focused on objective things. He's a finance guy, so he's talked a lot about finance.
Too much about finance. It's
Well,
too much.
that's his area, and I'm sure he'll diversify with time. And at the moment,
Absolutely.
that's sort of how he's feeding the community. And there've been others out there doing like some quizzes and all that, but the majority, sadly, of content makers have fallen into the trap and become as bad as one or two journalists. You see, these journalists put these stories, whether they're true, untrue, complete lies, or half-truths, and they continue this spiraling of negativity in and around Chelsea. It's always got to be a negative thing. Oh, let's have a quick click here. Tuchel is boarding a plane to Australia because he wants to leave. Roman Abramovic has decided he's going to sack César Azpilicueta. All this trash. This is a Chelsea thing. I don't believe it. I don't care about it. I think it's nonsense. I think they are spinning it. They're doing it to get their likes up, to get their subscriptions up, and it's not a positive end, and it's not healthy. I try to look at myself as a real fan. I've supported Chelsea since I was 3-4 years old, which is a lifelong thing. And I can't keep feeding my head with nonsense. I just can't do that. So I stepped away. I saw them. I just go past them now. I ignore a lot of it. I don't think it's true. I don't think it has any meaning. I think it's damaging. The club, the team, and the squad, they do listen to these things. It's a mixture of sort of half truths mixed in with exaggerations and definitely pushed and spun to the negative. So that negative spiral of getting people focusing on all this nonsense is where they want us to be, and it's been going on for too long for my liking. And I am at the moment backing away from it because I'm yet to start my crusade to start attacking it. I'm trying to think about carefully how I will do that, because I don't want us to start having divisions and fractions within the Chelsea community. I don't think that's healthy either. But these people that make a platform based on negativity, somewhere, somehow, they've got to be stopped. It's nonsense. Some of them I used to like very much. I'm very fond of some of them. I don't think they do it out of any negative intention, but they've got hooked up in it by a few mischievous journalists who want to put these things out there and who want you to keep stirring these things. When I say you, I mean the content makers. If you're amongst those that I am avoiding, I wouldn't be on the platform now. So that's definitely not the case. But they are out there. And as I've said, I thought about attacking some of them, and then I said to myself, no, this is going to be a fraction, because even though when you do things like that, you may stand out alone and they may come after you, but there are always going to be those that will come with you. And I don't want that sort of situation to start building up in our fan base. But we have to gently start talking to each other and asking each other, what are we doing? What are we doing? It's like any form of journalism, which social media has become, and all these platforms have become, whether you like it or not, you're sort of journalists. You've got to do things responsibly and got to do things with the eye and with a mission. And if our mission is to promote Chelsea and to foster a community, we can't do it on a platform of negativity. So for the stories about the players, I regard it as rubbish. The other stories, though, I do have other things to say, but I think you'll come round.
We'll come to him. Yeah, we'll come to him. We'll come to him. Yeah, Bobby, I mean, what has been said by the players is something that you would expect players to say. I mean, if I'm a winger and you're interviewing me and you're asking me, so how do I find my performances and my playing and my this and my that, and I'll be like to you, you know what, I'm enjoying my game. However, I would prefer to play as a winger because that's my position. I'm trying to adjust and to adapt to this role, but I naturally feel that I would perform much better when I'm in my position. And there's nothing wrong with a player saying that. A player saying that does not mean it's dissent. The manager will ask players to play different roles, different positions, and that's natural. And players understand that. And I know some players have this tendency to look at statistics and whatnot, and when they're playing in a different position, they're not able to achieve the same kind of stats that they would playing in their regular position. But I think when you look at the bigger picture, it's not really an issue. And if a player wants to say that, it's not a problem for me. It doesn't mean it's dissent. It doesn't mean that this player is looking to leave. However, the media have grabbed this, and they have tried. And this is the problem. With a lot of the Chelsea lads, they can say something and it would automatically be interpreted in a negative way, because if it isn't, it's not worthy of news. So they have to interpret it in a negative way to push their agenda. They were pushing it for a very long time with Hakim Ziyech. But then when Hakim Ziyech didn't celebrate his goal in the match before last, they latched onto it. unhappy, discontent, problems between him and Lukaku.
Yeah.
The next game, he scores a world-class goal. He celebrates. He actually half celebrates. Hakim Ziyech is not known for celebrating, so he half celebrates, and all of a sudden, no, he's happy. He doesn't want to leave. But because he celebrated, because he scored a goal, it doesn't add up. I'm gonna, brainwashing.
Yeah.
I have someone on the panel that I haven't seen before. So I'm going to welcome him on and ask him to introduce himself. Tuchel Lista. I think I've seen you one time. Tuchel Lista. Tell me where you're from, brother.
Hey Mo. First of all, great to be here. Big fan of the show. I've been watching for a couple
Pleasure
months
to have
now.
you.
Yeah, I'm very glad I discovered you guys. So yeah,
Big up to you. Where you watching us from?
I'm watching you actually from the U.S. So I live in Pennsylvania, in the U.S.
Brilliant. Well, welcome to the stream.
Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the show. Give me your thoughts on this on this story, on this topic.
Okay, so my initial reaction, it was pretty much in line with everyone else's in terms of the initial outrage to the idea that the attackers would be sort of sowing seeds of discontent within the dressing room. So from that gut reaction, I understand, but I've given it some thought, and I certainly, as much as I am a big fan of Thomas Tuchel, I really come to admit that, I think this is not a one-sided issue. I think, and as much as it pains me to say, I think Tuchel has to be apportioned some part of this. If there is to be any blame to go around, I think Tuchel, and I think he definitely has some things to work out. For one,
Tuchel, so just to clarify, do you actually think there is discontent, there is dissent in respect to our forwards? Do you think this is a fact? Do you think this is accurate?
Not to the extent that the media paints it, but I certainly think there isn't smoke without fire. So I think there is some degree, but it may not be as outright or as flagrant as we saw in like 2015-16 with Mourinho and Hazard and all these guys. I think these group of attackers are they have a very professional and almost workman-like attitude to the way that they behave, at least from what I've seen. Just when I look at Werner, I look at Havertz, I look at Pulisic, Ziyech to some extent as well. They just really strike me as nose to the ground, like hard workers. And we can obviously comment about whether or not they're good. That's a separate discussion. But I just think that, they, for whatever egos that they may have individually, they seem to be team players a lot more than we have seen in the past. And that really feeds into my belief that while I don't think there isn't discontent, I do think though that I think for their own careers, I can see why they would be unhappy.
All right. Fair enough. All right. I'll take that. Guys, does anybody else want to jump in on this? I want to build an opinion base before we get into this the nitty gritty of this discussion. So I want to hear what everyone has to say about this.
Mo, I'll make it very quick, and I just wanted a couple of points to be stated here, right? Can you hear me?
Yeah, clearly.
All right. To if you consider countries, right, when they have to win an election, they first try and gather media, right? That's how they start influencing people. That's the first point that they go to, right? The same way, that is what is happening in sports journalism as well. The sports journalism has shifted in such a way that instead of reporting news, they've started creating news, which is never a good sign.
Yep.
Right? And to create news, they'll do anything. And that's the reason why I kind of tend to keep away from these sort of news, which can become very toxic. I think they have seen blood, or they have tasted blood when the Lukaku news came out. Right? They knew how reactionary Chelsea fan base could be, how much of TRP they can collect out of it. They've seen that once, and they've enjoyed it. They've enjoyed the success, and they want to repeat it once again. And the best way to do it is to target the unhappy camp at Chelsea right now, which could be the attackers. Even if you look at the sentences,
again, VJ, I'll pose the same angle that I put to both Bobby and to Calista. You think there is truth to this? There is discontent within the camp, or is it something that is being blown out of proportion?
It's a team game. Most of the time, team games, when you might have some sort of a disappointment between people on a match-to-match basis. But I think we are overblowing the situation. At least the media is trying to hide the situation. And these are conversations that shouldn't have actually even come to the fans. These are conversations that should be inside, the club, because these are very small points. When Pulisic made that point, he was actually talking about how versatile he can be. None of them actually wanted to concentrate on that, because that's a positive point, right? People wanted to concentrate on the negatives because that gives them more opportunity to talk about, right? And I don't think so that helps the club in any way. And our end goal should be at this, to support the club and to understand, if the club is really making any mistakes, and not to make small stuff like this blow out of a proportion, rather than to see the actual mistake that might happen, which I'm pretty sure that we'll cover later in the stream about the board and stuff like that. But I don't think so. This is something that we have to even give this sort of an importance to talk about, because it's completely blown out of proportion, according to me.
All right. Fair enough. Anybody else?
Big up, guys. Big up. How are you guys?
Big up to Bigo. Welcome to the stream, man.
I'm good. I'm good. Actually, from my side of the story, English media, or the media, is good on making Chelsea fans divided. And the other side, to be honest, after Lukaku situation, I don't think the players will do the same thing. If you have a problem with the way Tuchel style, the players should knock on the coach's door and explain to him, say, boss, I'm not happy with 1, 2, 3. What is the solution and stuff? So I don't think, to be honest, our players are complaining that much, because like last season we won the Champions League. Almost most of our players were playing out of position. No one was complaining. And now after Lukaku interview, the media like always have something to say about Chelsea.
Well said, Tibigo. Well said. Yeah, I mean, all of a sudden people are complaining when they haven't complained for God knows how long. I mean, and to target it to all of the attackers, because I mean the only people they've actually left out from that list is Lukaku and Kai Havertz, right? And everybody else has been included in that list, which is a little bit suspicious for me. Cheers to Bigo, thank you for that. Let me hear from the rest of the boys. Boogeyman, you wanted to jump in on this?
Yeah. I don't really believe that the players have gone since anything at this point, especially after Lukaku stories. I don't think this player will go anywhere and say something in the way that sound like they're being critical of Tuchel or the board or anybody at Chelsea. I've read some of what Pulisic has said, and I don't see anything in it.
Yeah.
And it's just a normal thing. Um, of course, you always want to find a way to blame others for your own problems sometimes. I mean, they're not scoring goals. Yeah, we criticize them for it, but I think they need to take responsibilities. We just want them to score goals, and we're not asking them to blame anybody or blame any system. Score the goal, and you've been paid for that. And your salary compared to other teams in the Premier League is not a joke. So listen, this is a job, and the description is being an offensive player. You have to score goals. So stop being a kid and just get on with the job and show us that you want to be Chelsea player. And I think that's what they're doing at this point. When it comes to the media, listen, I don't blame the media. I will not go in war with the media like Bobby because I don't think it will bring anything good out of it. I mean,
Boogie, I'm gonna shoot something. I'm gonna say something. You don't want to go to war with the media. I understand that. However, all of these stories that stir controversy and stir the fan base, they all seem to be coming from the same source.
Yeah.
Every time. I mean, is that a coincidence? I mean, every single time we have these kind of issues is from the same journalist. It's not even the same. It's the same journalist every single time. No one stirs up the fan base like this dude. And I'll go back to what Bobby said. Because Bobby, he was diplomatic in his approach, and I'm respecting him for that. But this journalist is integrated with social media as well as mainstream media because he is given a platform by a lot, and Bobby mentioned it quite rightly. Yeah, I'll just stick it on here. Where is it? Yeah, spot on. He's integrated with a lot of the social media aspects as well as his newspaper publication, and he would publicize something on his in his newspaper, and then he would go on his podcast and give details about what he meant and give a breakdown and stir up the fan base even more because that podcast is then feeding into social media and being retweeted and then it gets everywhere and people start to talk about it like we're talking about it right now. I mean, this is not something that is beneficial or positive for our club. I mean, I can totally understand. If by the summer window, if Chelsea were to sell Pulisic, Timo Werner, Hakim Ziyech, Callum, I can understand if they wanted to sell players and bring new players in, no issue. But to actually talk about it today as there is discontent, there is dissent, when we are currently battling to get a number of trophies, when we are currently battling to get into top 4, we have a season ahead of us. We have targets ahead of us. We want to have a successful season. We don't want to have this player wants to leave, that player wants to leave. He wants to play as a left wing back. He wants to play as a left winger. That isn't going to benefit us. And, this needs to be addressed. I mean, can we stop this person getting access because he's hurting the team. He's hurting the squad.
If I could please just say this. About 10 years ago, he has, and he still has, a partner in crime, although he's far worse than this other journalist. And I noticed this thing that they were building a career on poisoning the fan base. And I attacked this particular person. I threw a mirror into what he was saying, and I really came against him. And I noticed that a lot of people were realizing some of the things I was saying. And then he noticed it too, and then blocked me. But then, I should have, what I regret was I should have, with that splinter group that were beginning to understand what this guy was doing, I should have continued with them because they were not all blocked. And we would have stopped, at least damaged him back then. But, you know, he blocked me. I lost interest. I'm not somebody that, you know, I'm focused to a point on social media, but it's not really my main interest. And so I laughed it off at the time. Till today, I'm still blocked. But whenever I see him talking crap and I can get to it, I attack him. Now, there is a danger in that, which I noticed, is that I don't want. It's very easy to create splinters in a fan base, and Chelsea has always been notorious for being a family, right from Chelsea TV. You know, you have people that have never even met each other from around the world, and they have this family, which is Chelsea Football Club, and it's a strength. And I don't want to be one of the people that could. You see, negatives always build. It's positives that is hard to sustain, and it's very easy to create divisions and things like that, and it could spiral into something worse. So I don't know how we should address these people, but I think we need to address them. And having a platform like this where people are free to talk and express that, look, we know what you're doing, I think is probably the way forward, rather than openly hitting them on their platforms. I don't know. Sorry to cut in. I really am. But I just had to get that in there because we're not stupid and we know what they're doing, really.
Yeah, I'll let you come in. I just want to welcome Declared to the stream. Declared, welcome to the panel. Welcome to the stream, my man.
Good morning, everyone.
Good evening.
Morning.
Declare, how are you?
It's been a minute, Declared. Good to have you on, mate.
Good. Thanks,
So can I finish? Or
yeah, Boogie, finish, and then we'll let Nick Blue jump in, and then whoever wants to jump in after Nick. Go on, Boogie.
The way I see this is a little controversial. We know since the social media is booming, you have different view from anything. Like I don't know what to say. Listen, if someone fought in the public back then, you don't do stuff like that. Now it's his freedom; he can do it. You can have 1 million view on something like that. People will sit down defend it like you won't even believe it. When it comes to McLaw, that's how he's making his money, right? You said he will talk on live or podcast and then go on Twitter, and a combination he draws a lot of attention. That's how he's making his money, right? And it doesn't at the same time, is he representing Chelsea? I don't know with that much to say if he is Chelsea fan or not. I heard someone say he's a West Ham fan. Other people say he's more. He has a lot of insight into Chelsea channels, so that's all.
He's an Aston Villa fan. He's an Aston Villa fan.
So I heard story like that. So I'm not waiting. I'm not going to ask him to be nice to Chelsea if that's the way he's making his money. It's just the fact that he's free of doing whatever he want to do, and Bobby also is free of telling him what you're doing. We know exactly what you're doing, but then it comes to the fact that who can convince more people? I know for a fact that whatever he's doing is not helping Chelsea. Am I a Chelsea fan? Yeah. Would I take a job and run Chelsea? Yeah. If that job pay me well, I will take that job. But I'm still a Chelsea fan? Yeah. So is existence against my hobby? Would I go for making money? Yeah, I'm going for making money. So I don't really. I think we have a chance to talk about it, to convince more people, to show who he really is. But at the end of the day, listen, he got to do what he got to do, and we have Bobby and us. We have to do what we have to do. Life goes on. That's how I see it. I'm not seeing too much like he's destroying Chelsea. I just think he's making life out of it. He's making his living. Sorry, not life, but he's living out of it. And life goes on. That's how I see it.
All right, Nick.
Yeah, hi everyone. Hi, Mo.
Welcome, Nick. Welcome, my man.
Hello, Nick.
Yeah, a few points really. As you know, I'm always against these journalists. You know that I've spoken in the past about them. You know, I don't trust them with anything. I don't trust them at all. I don't believe in them. And when they make a comment on Twitter like Matt Law makes sometimes, I'll reply and tell him, "Well, fuck off." Sorry, I'm not supposed to.
Nick, this is your last warning, Nick. You've done this twice already.
Yeah.
You've done this twice already on my stream. Your last warning, mate.
Just comes out. Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, I'll reply and tell him, you know, what it's about. You know, I'm not afraid to do that. But, you know, it's just the usual agendas against Chelsea. They like to make trouble. And like a lot of our fans, you know, they only believe in them and start talking rubbish on platforms. You know, you see it too much now. And it's really putting me so much off because I'm a Chelsea fan and I love Chelsea. And I wouldn't do anything like what Matt lost to. Like Boogie said, I'll do anything for money. No, I wouldn't do it for £1 million. The club is embedded in me. I've been there, you know, like you know, since 10 years old, and I've seen everything, the good, the bad, everything. You know that I've talked about it before, and I hate it when I go. You know, I see these people trying to make money out of Chelsea Football Club. I don't care who it is or who you are. Like, it's not right, and one day you'll be all gone. You're gonna see my words.
Yeah. No. Like I said, this guy's had it for a long time. He's had his agenda against Chelsea for a long time, and you know, there'll always be people like him. There'll always be people pushing the narrative to try to bring the club down, because the club is so successful. The club is achieving so much. They want to keep pushing us down and keep pushing us behind. Give me 1 second, lads. I'll be right back. I got a phone call. Give me 2 seconds. Declare, take it over, mate.
Sweet. I wanted to.
Oh, you've got the reins very early. Go on.
Yeah, that's it. All right. Yeah, I you know, Kazim sucked me in by saying Salah to Chelsea. That's why I'm here, you know. But now we're talking about Matt Law, so I might as well touch on that. But I think you guys would know too.
1 second, Declared. We will get to that. Just give us a minute.
Yeah. No, I was joking anyway. But my view on all, every news that comes out is, you know, before we used to say where there's smoke, there's fire. So either there's, you know, it's true, or every time it was international break, the media will come out with some news. They've been holding some news and trying to stir up some narrative. But there's also a new culture now with online presence, so people can just put out absolute garbage if they want, right? And people can stir it up to make a response. You also get, I don't know if you noticed, all these interviews. Even I think what's happening big with Man United players, if you've seen, they apologize when they have a bad game. The players come out and put something on their Instagram, and there's some online presence now. So now people have to reply online. There's a demand. So someone like Matt Law can stir up something, and then that question will get asked to Tuchel, right, in the next press conference. And that's why they drive these narratives, because you can just connect a couple dots and make it sound true, but it can be true at the same time too. So it's mixed, it's bundled up in one, and because in the past we knew if a lot of leaks came out, then that was the first stages of a manager getting sacked, because at the start we'll deny it, but there's some truth to it. But in Matt Law's case, you guys talking about his credibility, and how's his credibility so high? Because it hasn't been checked. I mean, no one's answered or no one's investigated his story, because if something did actually happen at Chelsea, they're not going to tell you, or they don't want to tell you, and so people can run their mouths and make a career from it. But this new culture about players have to respond, a press conference, it all stems from a one opinion piece that Matt Law can pull off, or anyone can pull off. And that's
true.
That's how I feel about that.
True, spot on. Podfather, big up to you. Welcome to the stream. I'll let you jump in a second. Who have I not heard from? Showtime. What's your take on this? Showtime, can you hear us? He might be away from his PC or his phone. Podfather, what's your take on this, mate?
Yeah, hello everyone.
Big up to you. Welcome.
Yeah, I mean, my take is if you don't like what you're reading, just don't read it. You know, and there's very limited effect that Matt Law can have on me if I don't see correlating evidence of it on the pitch. You know, or the way the players look, or references that the managers had, or if multiple sources. Because from what I gather, the Athletic has pretty much come out and backed up pretty much everything he said, and he doesn't work for them. It's a whole different organization, and they've released probably even more detailed than what he had to say. So in terms of that. I don't know if the story is exaggerated or he's going to get everything right or anything like that, but I do believe that the general feeling that's being expressed is probably correct at this point. But for me, it doesn't really matter. Like, these things are quite normal in football. Fans can get upset, but then you go into fans forums, and this is exactly what they're talking about all the time on all the streams. These same things, but then when a journalist says it, then all of a sudden everybody's up in a tizzy, and in terms of the clubs are not innocent in this as well. Like, the reason why we know about Christensen's contract situation is from the club briefing the journalists, and that's how we're finding out. It's not Christensen going to tell the journalists, "Oh, I'm just messing Chelsea about, and I'm not going to sign. I'm going to go to Barcelona." So clubs when they want to play hardball in negotiations, or paint a player as a bad egg, they all do it all the time. Oh, he's a bad trainer, or he's unprofessional, he's this, he's that. So the media is a tool for both the players, the agents, and the club to use. Now you'd hope that the squad is united, and everybody's pulling in one direction, but.
All right, I'm gonna ask you a question, Nick. I'm gonna ask you a question. Sorry, Pod. Before I ask you, I want to just, ask people to do me a favor, and that is to smash the like button. Let's get to 100 likes as soon as possible. We're 19 away, and if you're new, subscribe. You'll enjoy the content on the Blue Lounge, especially if you're a Chelsea fan. I know we've got a couple of Arsenal fans in here, a couple of Liverpool fans in here. I guess the Mo Salah on the cover or on the thumbnail kind of attracted them, but big up to you. Subscribe to the Blue Lounge. We'll talk to you guys in a minute. Pod, you made a valid point in respect to he's a journalist and he's got access to information. His job is to report the news. No disagreement. The issue I have, and again, in regards to how accurate the news is, how true it is, there may be something to it. I'm not gonna sit here and say 100% false, because I don't know. It could be true. Okay. However, my question is this: why is it that this journalist always seems to be the one that stirs up controversy? The same journalist is always the one that has access to these stories that cause negativity on the club. Other journalists report from him. They'll take his story and they'll expand on it. But he is always the one that instigates these type of stories. So what's your take on him being the one that does that? And again, I'm not saying his stories are false. I'm not saying his stories are inaccurate. I don't know. I can't make that judgment myself. But what I can say is he is the one that always seems to come up with these stories. So what's your take on that?
It's interesting that he's always the one. I mean, clubs have a lot of power. Like, you can literally ban someone from your press conferences if you want. You can literally say that this newspaper is not allowed because they've been reporting stories that you don't like or you feel are inaccurate or false. So there are remedies for the. I remember Alex Ferguson used to I think one time he banned the BBC for like 3-4 years. Never spoke to them after, because it was never a match of the day for almost like 3-4 years. And if you can do that to the BBC, you can pretty much do that to anybody. So why is he always the one? I guess he's got contacts on both sides. It seems like he's got contacts within the playing staff and the club staff, because he breaks stories on both sides. Who the club is going for, who they're trying to sign, which players unhappy, this, that. And after a while, I think people elevated him to a certain position. But like I said, if you've been following this whole news game, you tend to verify by how many more sources come out. Now, if he drops a story and he's not backed up by Simon Johnson, by The Athletic, then I just look at it as that's just his opinion, and he's just speculating. But if 4 or 5 journalists all come out at the same time and start pretty much confirming everything he said. Simon Phillips came out and said that yes, it's true. I knew about it, but I didn't want to report it, because he's a Chelsea fan or whatever. Then I don't really have, as long as this story is true, I have no problem with whether you want to be negative or not, because I'd rather have the information. So when we're here discussing in these forums,
what is the information that is true? What is the information that is true?
There's some attackers that are unhappy about the way they're being used.
Is it unhappy, or would they rather play in their position, in their assigned position, i.e. left winger, striker, attacking midfielder, rather than wing backs? Because that doesn't say that they're unhappy. It says that they would prefer something else. It's the way that you take that information. And then you analyze it and come to a conclusion. I know Pulisic would rather play as a winger rather than a wing back. Definitely, we know that. We know Timo Werner ideally wants to play as a striker. Callum, winger. Ziyech would like to play in a 4 at the back system. Yeah. All these aspects, we know them. We know them, and sorry, Paul. Sorry, one second. And the fact that these players prefer that, it doesn't mean that they're discontent or that there is dissent within the camp. It means that they would rather have a different system. They would rather have a different way of playing. Now, to say because they would rather have that means there is discontent, there is dissent within the camp. It's different, because when you say there's dissent, that means there's problems, there's infighting, there's a lack of motivation, a lack of what's the word here? A drive to perform, and that is a problem for a player. He would rather play in a different position. That's not really a problem.
Yeah, I don't think there's dissent. I don't think there's dissent. I don't think the fact that we're hearing it. I don't think the players are going to the manager.
Sorry, Pod. Let me get Declared's feedback, and then I'll let you.
Sorry, I just wanted to sneak it in there. Like what you were saying, the fact that we're just hearing that news, we shouldn't be actually hearing any of that, really. Like a player shouldn't be. They should be amongst the dressing room and the coach. The fact that we can assume that players are, we not assume, we know players aren't playing in their position, and they might not be happy. But the fact that we're hearing they're not happy is the proof of maybe some frustration, discontent. Get what I'm saying? Everything that you explained, not necessarily how you translate it, just the pure fact. I was going to say that we're hearing it, that they're actually coming out with it.
I think the difference is in other teams you have, let's say, like a front three, who play regularly, they're scoring goals. So there's a hierarchy. In Chelsea, nobody's playing well enough to really hold down the play, so there's no hierarchy. So you get more discontent, because there's not like, okay, Salah and Mane are playing. So if I'm Oxlade-Chamberlain on the bench, I'm not going to complain, am I? Because these players are clearly better than me, and they deserve their place. Well, if I'm a Ziyech or Pulisic, I'm not looking at the guys ahead of me thinking they deserve to start, and I should just be on the bench and be happy to be here and just be quiet. And in terms of dissent, I don't think it's dissent, because I don't think the players are going to the manager and having shouting matches and all that sort of stuff. But even if you speak to old school coaches, they will tell you if a player is happy to be on the bench, they don't like that player. They want a player that is upset and wants to. So the words, we shouldn't get triggered by the words. Somebody being unhappy by being on the bench for 4 or 5 games is good. If you feel like you're a top player, you don't want to be there. You don't want to get comfortable and just happy picking up your paycheck and playing every 5 games. You want to start. So yes, you're going to be unhappy, but not to the point where you're now trying to cause issues within the club. Yeah, but like I said, it's because there's no hierarchy at Chelsea. So pretty much all these players see themselves on the same level and think they should be playing, and that's where the issue arises.
But isn't the issue before that? You know, like how you're saying, you know, if they get unhappy, it's almost to me in history when this type of news comes out, it's when they're waving the "come get me" flag. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the agent coerces. These are first stages to show that this person's not happy.
Okay,
you know, we should know a player's not happy.
Hold on, guys. One second. I want to bring in a new voice, Dan. I haven't seen you on the stream before, so welcome to the stream. Let me know where you're from and give me your opinion on this particular topic.
Thank you so much, mate. Yes, I'm
Pleasure.
Dan. I'm from Northwest London.
Welcome.
Yeah. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Dan. Nice to meet you. Where in Northwest London? Because I'm in Northwest London.
Oh, are you? Okay. Well, it's the northwest of London, so it's like Watford.
Oh, that's like way north and way west.
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
I'm
Not actually
in
in
Ealing.
London, but
I'm
northwest of
north of.
London. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm the north part of Ealing, so between Ealing and between Wembley,
Okay, not too
Perivale
far.
area. Not too far. Well, Dan, welcome to the stream. Let me hear your thoughts
Cheers,
on this
mate.
topic. Cheers.
Thank you. To be honest, mate, I wasn't even listening. I was doing something. I'm sorry. What were you talking about?
Well,
I'm sorry, bro.
no. It's all good, Dan. Dan, basically, we're talking about the story of the apparent discontent within the camp in regards to the strikers or the attackers, Ziyech, Timo Werner, Pulisic, Callum Hudson-Odoi. Apparently, they're unhappy with the roles that they've been given by Tuchel, and they would like to possibly apply their trade elsewhere next season. This is a story, or this is one of the stories that's been reported by Matt Law and also been taken up by other journalists in respect to the squad. What we're discussing is there dissent within the camp, or is this something that's been blown out of proportion? So, what's your take on that?
Okay, so first of all, I believe in literally sort of reading from good sources. So if that were to be true, which I highly doubt it is, to be quite honest, I don't even know what to say, to be fair. But yeah, it should be taken from good sources, and I'm not sure like what kind of source that you've got it from.
Well, it was published in the Telegraph by Matt
Yeah,
Law.
I don't believe any of that shit. I don't believe any of that sort of stuff. Until it comes from a player's mouth, I don't believe it.
Pulisic did talk about him not happy playing in the wing-back role. He would rather be playing in the more offensive role.
But surely he'd be happy playing wherever, as he's not being played at the moment, right?
But he'd prefer to play in his position.
Yeah. I mean, personally, I think Hudson-Odoi is doing quite a good job at the moment. Pulisic can score goals, more than Lukaku, to be fair, at the moment.
Different type of player, different type of position. I mean, the issue with Pulisic and Callum, as you know, Ben Chilwell and Reece James are out. Therefore, we need to have players who can come in and do the wing back role, and that's why Pulisic and Callum have been utilising that role. I want to.
James is back soon, though, right? I think
James is training. He may be playing in the World Club Cup. He may be back for that. So looking forward to his return. Hopefully, that will definitely solve one side of the problem. The other side, hopefully, Malang Sarr's been tired to fill in for now. So we'll see how that pans out.
And to be fair, like from a personal perspective, Sarr's been doing really fucking well.
Dan, we don't use that word on this.
Oh,
stream.
sorry. He's been doing really well. Sorry. Yeah, so I rate Sarr quite a lot. Alonso, trash.
Yep.
Absolutely
All
trash.
All right. Well, cheers, Dan. Guys.
First winning for Dan.
Sorry.
First winning for Dan.
I can't hear too big. Repeat that, please.
First warning for Dan.
First warning for Dan. Yeah. First warning for Dan.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah,
sorry,
no,
I don't realise
it's all good. It's his first time on the stream. It's probably a slip of the tongue. Does anybody else want to add anything to this particular story before we move on to the other story?
Mo,
Can I throw a conspiracy? Oh no, Tuchel.
No,
So-
really,
Hold on, Boogie. To Kelly want to say something. To Kelly Star.
Yes, please. Yes.
All right, I'll hear from Kelly Star. Then I'll go to Boogie Man. Go on, Kelly Star.
All right. Yeah. So what I really want to say was just to quickly buttress the Podfather's point.
Yep.
Earlier. So, in addition to the lack of game time, I really think, and this is part of why I began by saying really Tuchel has some blame in this, because I feel the issue is way beyond even the amount of playtime they're getting. I really think it's the okay. So to actually answer this question, I need to refer everyone back to, there was an interview Tuchel did while he was at PSG a couple years ago, I believe, with Rio Ferdinand, and essentially what he said, and this pretty much summarized his philosophy, at least as it pertains to the final third of the field. He essentially says, he just leaves his attacking players to their own devices, essentially, and allows them to, express themselves, or like maybe essentially just do the thing for themselves, while he just organizes the rest of the team to support that. So it seems like, as compared to say like a Guardiola or like a Klopp, he doesn't. And this is I admit a rudimentary analysis from someone who's not even had his coaching badges yet or anything like that. But it just seems to me like Tuchel doesn't believe in like intricate, pre-planned patterns of play in the final third, like Guardiola, when it comes to, how City always score goals the same way, like cutbacks from their fullbacks, or like, you have people going into the box late, or like the Kevin De Bruyne effort from outside the box, etc. So it just really seems like our attack is almost freestyle, and this is painful to me to admit, because I thought the same thing under Lampard, except under Lampard it seemed like the rest of the team couldn't support what we were doing, so the whole thing was a mess. Whereas here, Tuchel, to his credit, has strengthened the team. He's made us defensively sound. He's he's playing players, at least those behind the forwards.
To kind of stop, I'm going to interrupt you for 1 second, because I'm still trying to understand what you mean by freestyle.
So what I mean by that is, it's there doesn't seem to be, he doesn't seem to be giving the
clear instructions, clear strategy, clear tactics. That I agree with when it comes to Lampard, but not when it comes to Tuchel. Because Lampard literally, the players did say that he would say, go out there and win the game.
Yeah.
Defenders defend, attackers attack.
Yeah.
So that's freestyle. But Tuchel, not only does he set the formation and set the tactics, but he sets the system. He sets the way that they pass the ball.
Yeah, 100%.
The way. So freestyle, I can see it with the Lampard system, but I'm not so.
Sorry. So maybe I should have been more clear. I definitely agree with you, Mo. I think Tuchel is definitely a lot more well prepared than it seemed than Lampard seemed to be. I think with his system as well, there are clearly patterns of play. Don't get me wrong, but I think the patterns of play are more geared towards the possession game of our possession game. So if you see us maintaining the ball in midfield in defense, there seems to be a clear pattern in how Tuchel wants us to hold on to the ball, maintain it, open up avenues in the opponent's half for the attackers. So those patterns are clear for me. So I definitely agree with you. My only thing is, and I'm not even sure I agree with my assessment 100%. So you can take that with a grain of salt. But I just think that he seems to just want to stick attackers in the front line and see which one sticks. And that really feeds into what the article from The Athletic mentioned about the attackers almost having this sentiment that Tuchel picks the front line out of emotion because he is so frustrated by their performances.
To Calista, I'm going to interrupt you for a second here.
Sorry.
I see what you're saying, and to a certain degree, I agree because he has had a multiple selection. We've never had the same attack, game back to back. We've always had him tinkering with the attack, which does suggest that he isn't sure. Sorry, Nick. That he isn't sure about the ideal combination to attack to use. He's still tinkering, and he's been at the job for a year. Maybe he should have a more established setup. That being said, the flip side to that is he's had a lot of injuries and he's had to change based on injuries, based on form, based on scheduling. So there's a lot of factors. I'm gonna bring in Boogeyman, and then we'll go to Declared. Boogie, let me hear your thoughts.
Yeah, so first I will start by saying I don't believe that there's any unrest at Chelsea. I don't believe it since Lukaku press conference, Lukaku interview. I'm pretty sure no other Chelsea player will ever try to do something like that. So I believe the fact that whatever I think it was Ziyech, no, not Ziyech, Pulisic and someone else, Werner, whatever they said, it's not with intention to say they're not happy. Probably someone does his own interpretation and come with those to create news with it. But then I will add the thing with it. Who are those players to complain about their position or how the coach is putting them on the field? Like the coach decide. That's the basic rules of a team play of being part of a team football team. The coach needs you at this position. You go there, you fight for your jersey, and I don't know if we can use this word on your channel, but you shut up. You just play your position. That's what we're talking about. I don't understand this whole thing. I don't know if their age is the factor in this whole complaining scheme. Listen, we've seen other players. They're not happy. Even Lukaku, I don't want to go to Lukaku, but even Lukaku at playing as a striker is not happy the way Tuchel is using him as a striker. He's a striker, using as a striker, he's complaining about it. So I don't understand this whole concept of I don't like the fact that I'm playing wing back. Wing back, under Tuchel, you're still attacking. You're just being asked to do some defensive work. What is your problem? Just play. And listen, I have a problem with a player complaining, and when you know that you want to play high level, this is what the pure definition of high level. System changes, and you are getting paid a load of money to play that position or to listen to what the coach is saying. Whether Tuchel is not giving instructions to those strikers, they've been put on the field to place a system that we all know. Either it is 4-3-4-3 or 4-2-2-2, and I didn't play high level, but I know what it meant to play as a striker. I know what it is to play in 2-4-4-2. Go play what you've been asked for and just stop complaining. That's all. I'm tired of these people complaining. I don't know if the fact that the young is the problem, but this needs to stop. Like, go score goals.
Boogie, let me give you an example. Yeah, Paul Scholes. Yeah, was playing for England, and then they started playing him on the left. You know what he did? He retired. He said, "I'm not coming here to play on the left." Yeah, I mean, like I think certain players, if you've been playing a certain position.
So in England, they were trying to play in England on the left, and he retired, right?
Yeah, and that's an old school player. So it's not a young thing. This is almost 20 years ago, yeah, or 15 years ago. So what I'm saying is that a lot of these players now, they have a lot more power because they're so expensive and they're on such high wages. Yeah. So when they're coming to the team, they usually tend to have a meeting with the manager. Manager's going to tell you his philosophy, how he's going to play you, where he sees you, da 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 da. Now, if he says, "I see you as a part of the front three," you come, and next thing you know, you're playing as a wing back here. I think these players, they're going to be unhappy. I'm not saying that they should cause dissent or come out against the manager's tactics, but I don't believe any attacking player will be happy playing as a wing back. No way. Whether it was Hazard, whether it was William, whoever you want to mention in the past, they would not be happy playing as a wing back.
So I'll ask a question then. When we had Antonio Conte, his system basically is based on wing back. Then we have Sarri's for back three. So Antonio Conte bought wing backs. Then we go to 4-3. Then those wing backs say, "I don't play as a left back. I don't play as a right back. I'm a wing back." So what do we do with them? They have to play wing back.
Victor Moses. Do you remember Victor Moses? Do you remember Victor Moses? Victor Moses was a winger.
Was a winger, and then he was
even Pedro. Yeah, but Victor Moses didn't have a career of achievement or doing anything. Yeah, like he was a player that was on loan for Chelsea for like 2 years, could not get in the team, and his career was pretty much on the way down at that point. So yes, you're going to play whatever position, and yeah, you may be able to convince one player.
No. Sorry. Hold on. The point. Sorry, Boogie. The point I'm trying to make is the fact that you're a winger doesn't mean you can't play as a wing back. I mean, we've seen it happen, multiple times when wingers have been converted to wing backs very successfully, and also wing backs have converted to wingers very successfully. So it can happen, and it's a matter of motivation and convincing. I think Marcelo was a winger. Before he started playing as a wing back for Real.
Exactly.
No, but Kazim, you can, yeah, but you have to remember. You have to remember this.
Can I finish this quick?
Go on, Boogie.
It's not about we're not asking Lukaku to become a goalkeeper. We're not asking Thiago Silva become a striker. We're not asking like wing back and the winger is the same thing for me. All we're asking you is do some defensive work. Hazard was a winger, right? But he clashed with Mourinho because Mourinho is asking him to do more defensive work. So if Mourinho was a wing-back coach, he'll probably be asking Hazard, you need to come back in the medium line, which is exactly the wing-back position. So I just don't understand why we're giving life to a player like Pulisic or even Hudson-Odoi complaining about being playing wing-back. Wing-back, you can attack. If you want to attack, make sure you attack, but cover your back. Nobody, don't have holes behind you.
But Boogie, don't you remember stories of Hazard being upset just because they asked him to track back? You don't remember stories of him saying that all this tracking back under Mourinho and Conte was affecting his game, and even the Chelsea fans were complaining that we're not saying the best of him is defensive, is that. Yeah. So these players, whether we like it or not, the wingers that end up at wing backs are people who are not good enough to be wingers. That's why you ended up at a wing back. If you were a good enough winger, you wouldn't be playing as a wing back position.
Well, but what if we're not playing Tuchel's system? In fact, those wingers are always close to the striker. They're pretty much left midfielder or right midfielder attacking. So they're not really wingers. So when you're being asked to play wing back, it's not as bad. I just don't see where it is. The problem is me personally. I don't see it. My point is this. We should not give life to those comments from those wingers. They're not even, when they play winger position, they're not even scoring. We're more frustrated with them playing as a winger. And when they play wing back, we feel like, okay, they're taking one for the team, and we're happy with them. And normally, the satisfaction of the fans should be all the way the higher priority. And as a fan, I'm happy when Pulisic play wing back, and I'm sometimes more frustrated when he plays as a winger. So what is my opinion? What do Pulisic think about my opinion then? If he doesn't want to play, he can do like Coles, a post Coles, and just bounce out. Like enough with those. I mean, listen, I'm pretty sure he was not complaining. I'm just saying if he was to complain about those things, he can bounce out.
Yes, sorry, Boogie. I want to bring in Declared, and then I'm going to change topic. Declared, give me the the final statement on this particular story.
Well, yeah, I wanted to just touch on Matt Law as we were dissecting, and just it's more maybe, you know, what do you say when you throw it at the wall and see if it sticks, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Or conspiratorially, as you guys were talking about it, kind of reminded me of what you know, the CIA kind of did with journalists and war propaganda, and along those lines. I know that's extreme.
False flags and things of that nature. Yeah.
But in this nature, Matt Law has been risen to a level because he did get a lot of things right. So he is in such a position, and like you guys brought up, that the club do have the power to you know not allow him to come in because he's spreading a lot of bad news. But I maybe started to think, what if he is if he has a connection with the board? If kind of reminds me of, you know, how the stories came out of Lampard, wasn't, you know, was almost set up to fail in a way, and Mourinho when the dressing room lost. Is Matt Law a possible tool for the board whenever they have a falling out with a manager and they're preparing for him to go, and the first steps are trying to get these messages? So if Tuchel's having a falling out with the board, maybe these stories are coming out from, and Matt Law is the tool, is what I'm saying, because we're wondering here, how does this guy get away with these stories constantly, right? And still holds a great connection with the club. And he could be a tool, and that's what I was to
test the water, to see the reaction to this particular. Yeah, I mean that could be you know, if you wanna see how people are going to react, how the fan base is going to react to something, maybe you'd leak it, and you know, you'd leak it through him because he has the ear of a lot of the fan base. Maybe, you know, there's a whole bunch of ways to look at this, and that's one of them. Yeah, go on, Declan. Carry on.
Like in return, they give him some real stuff, which, you know, what makes him, you know, good journalist, and then give him some. And then when the board does need a tool or a message out there, they go through him, and maybe he's not just making it all up. Maybe he's just a tool in this whole big cog in the wheel, is what I meant. But yeah, that's why I wanted to touch on Matt Law before you moved along.
All right, just give me 1 second.
But what the topic of Boogeyman and Podfather was talking, what happened to just playing for the team? You know, what do players play for the team? Not everyone's, you know, what happened to play with the team?
Guys in the chat, the moderators, please feel free to block anyone who is using vulgar language, bigoted language, racist language. Feel free to block them. Don't ask permission. Just go right ahead and kick them out of the chat. Block them, and we don't want to see any comments of that nature in the chat. People, the next topic that I want to address is the topic of Mohamed Salah. Mohamed Salah is undoubtedly one of the best forwards currently playing the game. Undoubtedly one of the best forwards currently playing the game, and he's doing it in the Premier League. And he has been doing it for many years now. Recording some crazy stats, crazy numbers. His goals have been fantastic. His assists have been fantastic. And he has been the heart of the Liverpool football team. And he has been the reason, along with a couple of other players, he has been a massive factor to the recent success of Liverpool. Him, Mane, Van Dijk, a couple of others. have really been the reason why Liverpool have been so successful. He is currently negotiating a contract, an extension contract. He wants to increase the salary that he's currently on. The issue is Liverpool are not prepared to pay the demands that Mohamed Salah apparently is requesting, because Liverpool just don't have that capability, don't have that kind of budget by the looks of things. I'm going to show you guys something. If you just bear with me. Let me just bring Showtime back into the stream. All right, now, if you look here, this is the current wage for Liverpool. So you got the highest earner is Van Dijk on 220,000 a week. Then you got Thiago Alcantara on 200, Mohamed Salah on 200, and then you got Trent on 180, and then you got a whole bunch of players on 180. All right, so Mohamed Salah has currently been paid the second highest wage of 200,000 a week, 20,000 a week less than Van Dijk, who is the highest paid by Liverpool. Now, can Liverpool pay more? Yes. Will they pay more? It will be difficult to see because of his age. Mohamed Salah is currently 29 years old. He will be 30 in June this year. Now, I'm going to show you another chart, and this is only, just for comparison. This is another chart I want to show you. Give me a second while I bring it up. All right, this is Chelsea's current wages. So our highest paid player currently is Romelu Lukaku on 325,000 a week. By Kante on 290, followed by Timo Werner on 272, followed by the great Saul Niguez, just under 200, Ben Chilwell 190, Kepa Arrizabalaga 155, and then a whole bunch of players on just over 100,000. So Chelsea pay more. Chelsea can afford to pay more, apparently. We've got 3 players who are currently being paid a lot more than Mohamed Salah. So that is where we are. That is where Liverpool is. Mohamed Salah wants to extend his contract, wants to get a pay increase. His contract ends next summer. Not this summer coming. Next summer, his contract ends. If Liverpool can't get him to sign an extension, they will likely be looking to sell him because they don't want to lose him on a free next year. Therefore, if they want to sell him, this is if they're not going to offer him a better contract, then this is possibly the year he will be sold. And again, like I said earlier in the stream, tabloid sources are suggesting that Chelsea may be interested in acquiring him. And this has been linked to the first story that we talked about, with dissent in our attackers. We may be seeing a few of them on the way out. And who better to replace them with than Mohamed Salah, one of the best attackers in the Premier League. And I stress, again, the guy will be 30 in the summer, in June. Now, should Chelsea seriously consider the acquisition of Mohamed Salah? Yes, tell me why. No, tell me why. And I'm going to start. Let me have a look. Who should I start with? Let me start with Declared. On this one. Declared. I mean, since you're waking up early just to be on the stream, I thought I'll let you start us with this one. So, what's your opinion on this particular topic?
I think mine's a little bit more controversial.
Let's hear it.
Because as much as I like Salah, best player, you did mention he's 30. Even with 1 year contract, I think the transfer fee you're looking at will be more than Lukaku.
It's been reported as 90 million.
Yeah,
that's the reported figure. Yeah.
If there's a bidding war, it might be higher than that. But let's say it's 90 mil for someone that's on a 1 year contract, and someone that probably needs to be paid our highest wage bill. I don't think the team's in its peak, so that's why I'm in the kind of the no camp. Just because I'm a bit more patient, and the players that I want in the age bracket of under 26. So as the team grows, in the next coming years, and they start to reach their peak, we're in the prime. All Salah would be is a temporary band and a very expensive bandage that could damage the rebuilding of our team to that point, just for the momentarily, for the moment. And how many good years do you get out of him? It could be an expensive mistake. You might not get the same Salah. There's a whole. I think there's actually a bit of risk with the Salah thing, and I'd rather see a player that's going to be here for a longer term, rather than maybe 2-3 years that we get. But we do need a killer like Salah up front, especially with our attack. So that's where if we get him, I'll be so happy. But when I start talking about the money and where it probably could have went, and how I see the whole team developing, I'd rather see that money put elsewhere rather than it could be, in a weird way, he could be an expensive mistake. So that's where I'm a bit more leaning towards no, but I'll never deny Salah.
All right. You're on the fence, but you're kind of falling off. But
Yeah, falling into the no camp. There's a lot of other players I'll get for 100 mil that probably can last.
Yeah.
Maybe 8 years, and could be. And when the team, I believe the team's going to come really well in the peak in the next 3-4 years, and that's probably when we challenge for everything. And so, with that idea in ahead, you don't sign a 30-year-old player. So that's where I'm. Yeah, that's probably my policy with most of the transfers in the near future.
All right. Topic is open. Anybody can jump in.
I just wanted to say something with respect. Yeah, with respect to Mohamed Salah, it's an interesting topic, right? When you look at the numbers purely, 220 is the highest paid for Salah, and then we've got a 325 with Lukaku. When you bring in, so the first thing is nowadays players use the media as a way to negotiate their contract better. We've seen that with many of Chelsea players as well. I think Mohamed Salah as well is pretty much doing the same thing with respect to the media. So he is actually negotiating a salary. Right now, you could say he is in the bracket of the top 5 players in the world, and he's not going to be coming into any of the clubs without a 350 plus wage bill minimum, right? 350 is something that I'm talking in terms of lowest term, because I think they're still negotiating with numbers of 400 or 410 right now. I'm definitely sure that Liverpool are not going to be in a position to provide that sort of money for Liverpool. For
VJ, I want to interrupt you for 1 second. A couple of questions. Give me yes or no answers.
Sure.
Mohamed Salah, could he get a 350 contract away from Liverpool?
Away from Liverpool, you're asking?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Mohamed Salah, one of the best attackers playing football right now?
Sure thing.
Yep.
Can Liverpool pay him anything in the region of 300?
Nope, that will break their wage structure.
Okay. So Mohamed Salah leaving is a very, very possible outcome, correct?
Absolutely.
All right, continue.
Yeah. All right. So since we've got those things clear now, I think I can better make my statement, because you guys now have an understanding as to which side I'm leaning towards, right?
Not only you, VJ, but I think these answers that you gave are facts. I think everybody can agree with them, because breaking the wage structure is a problem for Liverpool, because the minute they pay him close to 300, everyone in that 200 bracket will also be asking for that increase. So it's going to be difficult for them to do that. So, I just want to put those facts out there. Continue, Vijay, continue.
All right, sure. So that's what I was actually getting into, right? Like the teams that are in the brackets of even affording Salah, I don't think so are even in England right now, except for Manchester United, which don't seem to be actually caring about their wage structure right now. Because if you look at their wage structure trajectory, they're already at 227 million per year. Right, and that's not going to anyways. And they're not anyways doing a great job with respect to their wage structure. So I wouldn't be surprised if they go for him, because that's how they are managed right now. The club is in a lot of confusions. Except for Man United, I would think it would be more of a foolish option for any of the clubs to do so in Premier League, because none of the clubs are in that sort of a huge wage bracket. And in essence, if you're trying anywhere above 350 or 400. For any of the clubs, it's all about breaking your wage structure, not just for Liverpool. But for Liverpool, that is even more a deeper pit that they wouldn't want to get into, right? But then the teams of the other leagues, let's say PSG, Real Madrid, who already have people in this wage category, would be the probably the right fit for Salah right now for the contract that he's expecting. So a lot has to do with the players and his comfortability moving away. And I also think Chelsea in this particular situation, we don't really sign a lot of players above 30. Though I know Salah as an individual is a rarity, is a gem that could bring potentially a lot of things into Chelsea Football Club. But I also think that it's not a risk worth taking, because Chelsea kind of operate in a way in the last few years in bringing in young players and developing them massively. And if you're bringing in Mohamed Salah, it just hinders the growth of the wingers that you have right now in your club, and you would be just looking to sell all these young wingers away to just facilitate this particular move, which doesn't really sit well with me.
All right, fair enough. Anyone else?
I'd sell all the wingers for Mohamed Salah.
Hold on. Boogie, then to big, then Podfather. Boogie.
Yeah, first, I have.
By the way, I agree with Podfather what he's about to say, but I'll let you go first, Boogie. Go on, Boogie.
What did he say? Okay, so I disagree with.
He said I'll sell everyone for Mo Salah.
Oh, okay.
Go on, Boogie.
So, yeah, first, I disagree with anyone saying Mo Salah will hinder the progression of any of our wingers. Our wing, I would love to have Mo Salah up for Liverpool at Chelsea right now. What player, what team we will be if we have Mo Salah right now in our team scoring those goals? Problem is, we've seen top player changing team, and then they're not the same. That is my worry. I have a lot of issues dealing with Lukaku already, and I'm not sure what kind of Mo Salah we're getting when the transfer is done. So that is my only worry. But again, if Mo Salah has to come, I'll be happy to have him as long as he's within the wage structure. I'll be happy, and I don't really care about the youngs. Mo Salah signing hindering any young players' progression. I don't care. If Mo Salah coming, they have to fight, and whoever is playing good is the one that will be on the pitch. That's all it takes, and that's my opinion. Anyways, I just don't like listening to people saying that we need to give the younger chances, because the big given chance they're not taking it anyways, and my frustration keeps growing. At the end of the day, I would love to have Mo Salah.
We're in the business of winning. We're in the business of winning,
exactly.
Boogie. So yeah.
My issue is I just don't know which Mo Salah are we getting. Is the Mo Salah under Mourinho, or is the Mo Salah under a club? If Mo Salah, I'd love to have even right now. And I don't mind being. If Chelsea can't afford it, 300, why not? What team would be if Mo Salah is scoring those goals for us?
Can I come in on this one?
I'll let you come in after Podfather. Podfather, let me hear your thoughts.
Yes, so let me be a bit more constructive than I would tell everyone. even though that's probably the end goal. But yeah, for me, I don't think there's a risk. You're buying somebody who's playing in the league, so it's not like when he first came to Chelsea from Switzerland. So he's fully acclimatized to the league. I think the induction period or the adjustment period wouldn't be, it would be something that would probably be seamless. In terms of his age, he's not just a 30-year-old. He's an extremely fit 30-year-old with a very good injury record. For a winger, especially because wingers tend to get kicked a lot, pick up hamstrings or whatever. But he's been very good with that. So I have no worries about his fitness going forward. I like to see Chelsea linked in this sort of situation, and hopefully it's not just paper talk or the agent using us to raise his client's fee. I feel like we should be linked with people that don't want to pay the 70 or 90 million. Yeah, okay. Well, Mbappe is free at the end of the season. Pogba is free at the end of the season. These are players that a couple of years ago we would have 100% been linked with, in one fashion or the other, and we're not. So which is quite disheartening, especially the Mbappe one. We've got his former manager. He's on a free. He's 22, 23 years old. Yes, the wages would be crazy, but then for me, great eras are built on great players. Chelsea of the last 7-8 years was built on, for me, on pretty much on Hazard's back, and before that we had Lampard, Drogba, Terry. So great players lead to great eras. Obviously, you need great managers as well, and these sort of players don't really come around, that often. So when they do, I feel like as a club we should definitely be interested. In terms of his wages, I think you could probably get him on the same wage as Lukaku, and even if you wanted a little bit more money, you give him something like a signing on fee, or like you work out a goal bonus. There are also ways to do it where the actual wage remains the same. So 350 is the limit, but he's allowed to earn more money through other things.
Goal bonus, trophies,
goal bonus, or trophies and stuff like that. So loyalty bonus, signing on fee. So there are all sorts of creative ways to slip in the extra money for the player where you can still maintain the wage structure. And for me, if he's in this team, then at least 3 or 4 players become surplus to requirements. The only reason we need 6 or 7, 8 wingers is because none of them are really hitting the heights that they should be. So yeah, I'm definitely interested in, or would be interested. I don't think it will happen because I think Liverpool. I think the biggest factor is Liverpool, and I think they would rather die than sell him to Chelsea. I think they'd rather run down his contract and do everything to push him abroad than sell him to Chelsea. If it was another club, then I can 100% see it happen.
Yeah, it'll be tough. It'll be tough to see him at Chelsea. We have to admit, but. It is a topic, and it is a potential thing that could happen. But I agree, it will be very tough. And people in the chat, there's a lot of Liverpool fans in the chat saying it's not going to happen. It probably won't. But it's a topic that we're discussing today. Nick Blue, let me hear you.
Mo, can I go back to Nick, please?
Can you hear me? Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. For me, it's a no, because I don't think we're gonna go for him in the first place. It's all talk and usual talk. I can't see it happening, not in a million years. And it's like when we got the Torres from Liverpool, the same feeling. You know what I mean? And we were expecting massive things from Torres, and look what happened with him. He won us the Champions League, yes, but that was the only thing he did for us. You can't say Salah's brilliant at Liverpool, but I can't see him being the same player at Chelsea. We got a young squad. These young players need to grow, and I can't see it happening. We play a lot different than Liverpool. We're not the same sort of team. And with our young players, we have to keep them. They have to grow. We got young player Havertz and Mount and all these lot. They're going to be, they're going to be someplace in a few years' time. So, I think, Salah's coming on to 30 years old as well, which I can't see Chelsea paying silly money for. They've done it with Lukaku and look what's happened so far. So I think Chelsea will just stick with Lukaku and see what happens till the summer. Then Tuchel can get his men, get who he wants in. That's what I feel like.
All right. Yeah, listen, in regards to Mohamed Salah joining, it will be something that will take a lot of work to get it done. It will take Liverpool, losing a lot, because not only would he be going to a competitor, but he will also be a player hard for them to replace. So I think Liverpool will be pushing hard to try to get him to sign. They will increase the wage, but how much they're going to increase it, it's gonna be interesting to see. Who was going to come in next? Was it Bobby or was it Tuchel? I can't remember.
It was Bobby. I'll go after Bobby though.
Who's coming next? Because I heard something about
Bobby.
Bobby.
Okay.
All right.
I appreciate being given time, but I wasn't actually jumping in. I was listening, but it's all good, and I appreciate it.
So was it Tuchel? All right, Tuchel, and then we'll go to.
Well, I was just going to launch into it, Mo.
Go on.
Cut me off.
No. We're going to hear you. Then we're going to go to Tuchel. Then who's after Tuchel? Trying to get the order.
No, Showtime.
Tobago. Go on, Bobby.
Yeah, I mean, the reason I was just quietly listening was, this is another non-story, another little bit of mischief, isn't it? They know Chelsea is building. Chelsea is on track. We're creating something new. We have a load of young players that are coming to their peak, that are coming to what Mo Salah is now. You can't have everybody. And Chelsea should go away from we've been burnt enough from picking up strikers on their decline. Why would we want to go back there if we could even afford it? It's a non-starter to me, really. I've got an analogy that might make some people laugh and some people frown. It reminds me of in my younger days in uni, when I was struggling, could barely, put two coins together. And there was this girl I really liked, but she wouldn't give me the time of day because I had nothing. And she was out there having fun. And when I came out and eventually became something, I suddenly bumped into this person after going through her life and living it large. And she was interested. But by then I was like, you know what? I don't go there. So, this Mo Salah, I think his ship has sailed. The time he could have been at Chelsea has gone for whatever reason, and coming back after you've done the rounds with Liverpool and you come back all washed up is not for me.
All right. Nice and sweet. All right. Cheers, Bobby. Let's get into Calista.
All right. Thanks, Mo.
Cheers.
So for me, I think if this was a year ago, like even before we contemplated getting Lukaku, I would have said yes. But obviously, putting aside the feasibility of it and stuff, I definitely would have. Well, let me put it this way. I would only do it if we would sell Lukaku at the end of the season, just because I think we can't have both in the same team. Just not only from a financial standpoint, but also just in terms of the logistics on the field. Both like to operate in that right channel.
Disagree. Tuchel. Financial standpoint, yeah. It'll be heavy. It'll be heavy on the budget. We could do it, but it'll be heavy on the budget. But in regards to the actual gameplay, I think Lukaku and Mohamed Salah would definitely benefit from being on the same page at the same time. One is a quick winger, the other is a strong forward. So both of them in the same team would work. But from a financial standpoint, I can see it'll be a little bit difficult. But I think Mohamed Salah and Lukaku would be a match made in heaven, because looking back at Lukaku, best performing when he had another attacker close by with him, i.e. Lautaro Martinez, and Mohamed Salah plays with with Mane, Fabinho, Jota. So it could be a good combination. But I also agree with you, maybe a year or two ago, it would have made more sense.
Yeah, that's a good point, Mo, to be honest. And I think this is why I think for me, to be perfectly honest, like my dream front line would have been, say, Havertz in the middle, Salah on the right, and then whoever on the left, just because
more fluid.
I think we are getting to that point in world soccer where, like, I think we need someone who's not necessarily a center forward number 9 like Lukaku, but someone who can provide us goals from either flank. Liverpool obviously do it with
Ousmane Dembele.
I'm sorry?
Ousmane Dembele or this guy.
Ousmane Dembele. Well, he's not prolific though, right? He doesn't score a lot of goals. So, I really think, the ideal for me would have been like Havertz through the front. He can do the pressing from the front. He's not necessarily the greatest goal scorer, but he can do all the work needed from the front. And then, just act like a Bobby Firmino type while Salah focuses on getting the goals. That would have been sweet, but I totally hear what you're saying as well in terms of Lukaku and Salah. So, yeah.
All right, sweet. Let me bring in Showtime. To Calista, thank you very much. Showtime, let me hear your thoughts on this.
In regards to Mohamed Salah, I mean, I would love for him to play for the badge, but that ship has sailed. And I heard what is this? I forgot his name, but you also said that you would sell all of our attackers to bring in Mo Salah. No, I would not, because then, God forbid, Mo Salah gets hurt. Who are we gonna have to play?
Showtime. It was me exaggerating the fact that I wanted him to come. It's not that I want to sell all my attackers just to bring in one forward. No. The point I'm trying to make is Mohamed Salah is a proven attacker in the Premier League. However, bringing him into Chelsea has a lot of hurdles. I.e., he plays for a rival team, so it's very unlikely that they will be willing to sell him to us. Also, the age, the contract. There's a lot of variables which makes it harder. Which makes it hard to imagine that he will be here. However, if things were ideal and things were in, if all the stars were aligned, then we could have Mohamed Salah. I'd be up for that. So that's the point I'm trying to make.
I definitely agree that having him in the squad will make our squad very much more dynamic. But in regards to bringing him in, I feel like I wasn't gonna bring her up, but Marina is not gonna pay him $325 a week, knowing that he's already 30 years old. We don't operate like that. Anything above 30 years old, you probably won't even get a 2-year contract from us. So, and I understand it's Salah, but we still have to operate how we operate. We want to win. We're worried about longevity here, and I don't think he's the right one for us for longevity. Ousmane Dembele, on the other hand, I think we bring him in and we get rid of the likes of the chatty boy Pulisic. And,
Dembele is the next story we're going to be addressing. So hold off on your thoughts regards to Dembele. We'll discuss them in a second.
Yeah, so Mo Salah, I would love him. I love my brother to play for the badge. Him and Conte together, oh my goodness. But nah, it's not worth it. I don't think it's ideal for us.
All right. Cheers, Showtime. Let me hear from Tobago.
From my side, I would say no, because of his age, to be honest. I know we have the Premier League experience, but now we are trying to build a team. So we want to build a team with a 30-year-old or someone who's getting a 30 soon. So we rather invest that money to buy a player like Rafinha, to be honest. But I love Salah, but it's not worth it.
Rafinha, interesting. Guys, does anybody else want to jump in on this topic before we switch?
Can I
I
just
thought I
say
was going to have the controversial topic. I mean, I thought I was going to be the odd one out. Sorry.
Can I just say
Everyone's
so
agreed. I'm surprised.
who wouldn't sign Kevin De Bruyne because of his age? He's 28, going to probably 29. Yeah, I mean, like I don't understand why all of a sudden, you know, we're looking at it like businessmen, like, oh, once you turn 30, you can't play anymore.
Mm.
Does anybody think that Salah's going to decline next year?
It's not. No. Pod. It's not the fact that people see his age as being the factor. It's people see his age and knowing how the club deals with the age bracket and the age issue with what they're offering, is that we will probably offer him a 2-year contract with a 1-year extension clause in there, or maybe a 1-year contract with a 1-year extension clause. So how much are we going to pay to get him? How much is this going to be? It's financially, it's a little bit difficult to make sense of it. In respect to Chelsea, has Chelsea been more flexible in offering longer term contracts to players over the age of 30? Then it's something feasible to look at.
I mean, we offered a 2-year contract to William at 32. I think this club will do what it has to do at the time. I don't think we're like like a Liverpool who has like a wage structure that we won't break. I think under the right circumstances, we'll break all our rules. Because I think that's the way Chelsea has to move like a chameleon in this market. They're not stuck by one business model or one way of doing business. They're a very opportunistic club, and if they see a situation arise, they'll break it. They'll break the structure. They'll break the buying.
That's the right question.
I
Is it
agree
worth
with
breaking
the
for?
Godfather on this one, because if it was that reject, we will not be signed Lukaku. He was 28, 29. We give him 5 years. And he run through the 34, 30, whatever you want to call it. So I don't think...
And he will still be a great player at that age, by the way. He will still be a great player at that age.
Yeah, I mean, Lukaku is not the subject, so I'm just saying, when it comes to Salah, what he's showing, I'm pretty sure that if Salah was to come to Chelsea, Tuchel has a job till for the next 5-7 years. I can guarantee, because the goals is going to be coming in. So for me, listen, anybody that give us stability, I'm up for it. I'm up for it.
I think.
But I just say something. Go on.
Yeah, go on.
Sorry, I forgot that. Yeah, I just want to say, what who was saying, Bobby. I can't see. I don't think it's going to happen. I know some of you are dreaming, but it ain't going to happen because we got a young team, and they're going to need time. Tuchel's going to get time, I think, hopefully, to build this young team. And I can't see Chelsea know where they're going to pay that sort of money for a 30-year-old. But we done it with Lukaku. That was a different situation. We were desperate for a centre forward, and we all thought we got the right man, but we, so far we haven't. But it doesn't make sense for Chelsea to go get Salah now. For Chelsea to go get Salah, that means it just doesn't seem it seems impossible for me. I don't know where these rumors come out in the first place from the tabloids, wasn't it?
Because there's no football.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
without rumors.
Exactly. Yeah. The next thing we're gonna get Ronaldo from United. That's the next.
Why not? He's good at
he was this close to signing for Man City, so it's not out of question. Go on, VJ. Let me hear VJ.
Yeah, just wanted to add something to after listening to all of them here, right? If I So see, first of all, our job is to be a fan and then enjoy football as and when it comes. So if it is me purely talking as a fan, I'd love Salah to be in this team. Don't get me wrong. I'd love Salah to play alongside Lukaku and then, get the best for our team, because he's proven as the one of the world's best player. I don't even have to go about talking about Salah. Everyone knows about it. But as someone who started to, understand the background of things, like how Kasim and most of the people in the panel does, right? I think it wouldn't make sense, because the trajectory that we are in terms of us being as a club and procuring a lot of young talents in the last couple of years, that's where I don't think this will match anywhere close to it, right? And Nick Blue made a good point with respect to Lukaku. Lukaku came in because we need an experienced one person on that attack, not the entire attack with 30-year-olds, right? It's probably going to be like another Manchester United situation where you have Cavani and Ronaldo on the attack, and they have a combined age of 70, 74 or 72 or something like that. I'm not saying Salah is that aged or Lukaku is that aged, right? All I'm trying to say is I don't think so. That's the kind of situation that Chelsea is trying to achieve, and that's where I don't see this deal happening. That too, specifically with the last year not going really well for Chelsea financially. I'm not sure if it will happen. But as a pure football fan, I'd love Salah to be in that front three for us.
So I have a quick question. Sorry, Mo, I have to. So Chelsea is on certain trajectories, like Vijay said, which is promoting youngsters or build an elite team around youngsters. But we fan, or even Chelsea board, or whoever it is, there one result. So do you think this is sustainable? Like promoting youth? And no, I mean, look, they brought Lukaku in for a specific reason, like I think Nick Blue was saying, that we were in panic mode and we brought Lukaku in. But that concept of the fact that we're building something new and we're waiting for 4 or 6 years to have the best result or dominate Europe and all those talks. Does that mean we fans have to accept the fact that in the next 2, 3, 4 years we're not going to win anything, or we just accept whatever is happening now? And is the board going to accept Tuchel staying here for 2 or 3 years without winning anything? Because I don't understand this whole thing about we are on certain trajectories and we just want youth. Youth are not producing; they're really unstable. So what do we do then?
I mean, you can't forget that we just got in the business of promoting our youth, because we had the likes of 2 years. We only under Frank Lampard is when we promoted youth. We're not really in the business of promoting. We just had to, because we couldn't bring in any new players. So right now we just have to accept the ones that we have, and we won't.
I disagree. Showtime. Under Sarri, we brought through Callum, we brought through Ruben.
I mean, but wasn't they already in the squad before he even got there? They already was playing first team football before they got promoted into first team football.
But he
Callum,
gave him the
Callum
opportunities. He gave him the opportunity to play. I think Ruben really broke through under Sarri. Unfortunately, he had the injury towards the end of that campaign. Callum did well under Sarri, and he started to attract attention under Sarri. So promoting youth players. I'm getting feedback from one of you guys. Make sure you have your mics on mute, guys. Make sure you have your mics on mute. Chelsea have had the model of promoting from the academy for quite some time. I mean, Roman has focused on the academy. He has invested in the academy for the target to be able to use the academy to be another income stream, another revenue stream for the club. And we've seen that, the amount of players that have come through the academy and that have been sold and that have generated monies, the amount of players that have come through the academy and have become part of the first team. So the academy is a very important asset for the club. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Showtime. Continue.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but in the likes of coming into out like 4 or 5 players in every year or every other year coming in and being on the first team, I highly doubt that's going to happen under Tuchel. He brought in Trevor Chalobah because Trevor tried to prove them wrong. It's not like he's going to bring
necessity.
Yeah, it's a necessity. We need it. Yeah. We need. These are things that we needed. Now that he knows what he has and what he can go out and buy, when the board tells him, okay, we have this much to spend, he's going to go and look at the players that he actually wants. I don't think he's going to go and be looking to the academy players first and be like, oh, let me go to the academy and save this money. No, if we want to win yearly and compete for titles for the league, because we're already competing for the Champions League, we're already competing for titles, but we want to win the league. We're not going to go into our academy players and be like, okay, we're going to call you up and come sit on the bench for years for matches, and you're only going to play Carabao Cup, or you're going to play FA Cup in the beginning. We don't have the luxury of time to do that. But if we want to win with Tuchel, yeah.
Sure, I get your point. I get your point, right? And I respect your point as well. But we've tasted success with this academy lads, right? 4-5 academy lads. Now, every coach that is coming into the team has this, obligation or probably an expectation as to, get the youths performing. Like you said, probably not 4-5 youths every single year, but we've already generated close to 5 youths in the previous years, and they're still youths. Like this is 1 year old now, like 1 year experience. They're still youth, right? We still have to utilize them somewhere, right? And it's not that they are not sellable. They are of course sellable, but if we do that, it's just going to be again, Chelsea going back to the old ways, which we don't want that to happen, like where we don't give importance to our academy products, and then academy players always go out on loan. They don't have a way to the first team at all. We've all seen what they can do when they come to the first team squad. I'm not sure if the Chelsea fans and also people looking out from the outside will be actually happy about we again going back to the model of just selling back the youth and then buying players with that particular rate. Today, Mark Gahey and people like Fakir Tamari and all these guys, the reason why they are actually being sent, sold for this high rate is because of them having these first-time minutes somewhere here and there, right? And Chelsea Academy raising their standards by showing what they're actually about, with having Mason Mount coming in, Tammy Abraham coming in. Now these guys are, the board has now understood the success of this particular academy, setup. And I don't think so they will go back to the base, not even the basics. They'll go back to the board and then start performing the same old way. That's where I think, they don't suit the trajectory.
Can I jump in on your point as well?
In regards to that,
let me give you a break, not a breakdown, but every team, right, goes through a cycle of a team, right? And it depends how you're going to build it. Every team gets old, and you have to fill players up again. And what Chelsea did when Roman Abramovich came in, which just bought everyone. Now Roman's not the only billionaire anymore. There's heaps of them now in the EPL, especially. Now we were always going to go in this direction, right? And you just saw, Man City do it, Liverpool do it. It's a cycle of a team. You build a team, you start with younger players, right? And then eventually they hit their peak, and that's when you invest the most money and you go for the same trophies. That team gets old and you rebuild again. So we were always going to go in this direction. If it wasn't from our academy, we were going to buy these players. But the idea was always building a team at a certain age group, right? For the future, right? So you can't just buy every peak player as we did a decade ago, because we no longer have that financial power. So we always want to, because we started that when we bought Lukaku young, we bought De Bruyne young, we bought Salah young, we bought a whole bunch of players young that didn't work out, right? But the idea was already there to promote from that age group. So whether it was from the academy or not, because some academy players did get chances. Everyone remembers McCracken and Romeo and all, and there's a list of names that kind of got their chance but didn't break the we had so many good players, didn't break into the team. So the cycle of the team is, we're always going to be in that direction. There's nothing about you got to win every year. You try to win when your team's in the most peak form, in the peak age group. Everyone's peak age, and that's when you try to win all the trophies you can. And then they get old enough, and then you cycle the team again. That's how it's been working for decades.
Back to VJ's point there.
Declare, can I just add on that? You hit the nail. You hit the nail on the head there, because it's not just us now. Before it was Roman, buy anyone we wanted, and we did. We bought the best players in the world. But now, it's different. You got all these other Newcastle coming up as well. You got multi-billionaires. They're going to go and buy, the best players with us as well, of course. But we need our young players, the ones who made it, to stay, like Mount, James, Gilmore, Gallagher. All these players, these young players, are the future for Chelsea. We can't really rely on buying 29, 30-year-olds for silly money. You need experience, but we always had experience in that team. It always stays there.
So we're moving away from the topic, which is Mo Salah. So I'm gonna just bring you guys back to the topic. I want you all to do me a favor and hit that subscribe button, because we haven't had many subscribers. We haven't had many likes, but we've had a lot of views. So if you're watching the stream, haven't hit the like button, I would really appreciate it if you would. And if you're enjoying the stream, consider subscribing. It would be great. I have coming on a person who I haven't seen on my streams for quite some time. Now, this guy's a Liverpool fan. He's a Liverpool fan, and he's going to come on, and it'll be interesting to get his take on this. So I want to welcome Easy Smoke back to the stream. Easy Smoke, welcome back. How are you,
guys?
man?
What's happening? I'm great, man. I'm great. Doing great, and you?
Good. I haven't seen you for a while.
Yeah, man.
How are you doing?
Took some
You
time
good?
off. Yeah, I'm good. I'm
All
good,
right.
man. All great.
I'm hearing something in the background. Is the TV on or something? Because I'm hearing a lot of audio in your background. If you can
Yeah, man.
reduce if you can reduce the audio, please. All right, brilliant.
Yeah.
Just reduce the audio. If you can mute it, please. Are you going to a different room? That's even better. Easy Smoke. I guess you've heard the discussion that we've had so far. You've heard what we've said. You've heard what everybody has given as an opinion in respect to Mohamed Salah and his contract situation with Liverpool, and the possibility that he may leave if he's not offered the right contract. What's your thoughts on the whole situation in respect to Mohamed Salah and his future as a Liverpool fan?
To be honest with you guys, I'll say that, I do not see no chance of Chelsea getting Mohamed Salah, man. But I do see, if the FSG do not sort the contract out with Salah, I do see him departing though, but not to Chelsea. I'll see more like Real Madrid, Barcelona, something like that as his next destination. But I hope FSG do get his contract up to date, man. Just pay him what he wants, because he's a terrific player doing terrific things in the Premier League, man, breaking records, and that's what Salah does.
If he is demanding a contract close to 300 plus, I mean, Liverpool don't have anyone on anything near that. I mean, the highest paid player that you guys have is Van Dijk, and he's getting 220. So Liverpool would have to really increase their structure, or improve their structure to accommodate Mohamed Salah. Do you see them doing that?
Well, if it's not done by the next few months, then most likely the owners are waiting to see how the season goes. How can Salah cope with all this trophies that we're running for this season? And we'll take it from there. If we can smash the Champions League, the Premier League, I do see them paying him whatever he wants, because that's just going above all means, man. I mean, winning the Premier League, the Champions League, that's something that we haven't done for quite a long time, man. So history will be making itself, and they should give him what he wants.
All right, fantastic. Thanks for that insight, Easy Smoke. Guys, does anybody else want to add anything in regards to the Mohamed Salah story before we go to the final story of Ousmane Dembele? Anybody else want to have anything to say?
Salah's not.
I like Easy Smoke. He exactly told what I said, so I like him.
He'll be taking the money and running. He wants the money now. He's done won the Champions League. He won the Premier League. There's nothing for him to fight for unless he wants to stay and get paid under 300K a week. I mean, he's going to Real Madrid or he's going to a PSG or somewhere where they can pay him that money.
Yes, yes,
You know.
yes. That's what I see.
And if you guys would pay Salah, if Liverpool pays Salah that 300K, just know Sadio Mane, all the ones that come after Salah is gonna want to request that, and you guys are not in the luxury of doing that.
Right.
LeBron James can't afford that. Okay. Salah
True,
FC
man.
and Salah and Mane FC, like I like to call you guys are being dismantled by the end of the year. No worries.
I mean, I feel what you're saying, but if Liverpool win trophies this season, there is no way that they're not going to give Salah what he wants. Forget about Mane. I mean, Mane is on par, but he's not on the likes of Salah. As you see, we brought in Luis Diaz, and I do believe that's going to be Mane's replacement right there. That's my take on it.
Can Diaz produce like Mane's produced though? I doubt that. I don't think.
I don't think so either. Like,
I don't think so.
I mean, you don't see Tottenham, Chelsea, Man United. They wanted him, but he turned them down, man. And remember, Klopp just doesn't sign any player. He signs a player that works for him, and that's going to be the best for us, man. Because Klopp signings in the past have been terrific. You got to put it down for Klopp, man.
Okay.
Wait,
So
did we go for him?
I don't think we went for him, but I will just upgrade.
I
you
never
guys
knew
to,
that we went for him.
Salah and Diaz FC then, because without Salah, you guys are not gonna win anything. You guys are gonna struggle. I can't wait till he leaves, though. I can't wait. It's gonna be like Chelsea winning the Premier League year after year after year after year. No worries, up the Blues.
I mean, you see Man City right now. Man City are actually thinking they're running away with the title, but I do believe Liverpool will be there, man. I mean, your guys were at the top of the log for quite some time. They let the lead slip, and once City is there, they don't want to come down, man. That's what Pep is all about. But it's more like a psychological game at this time now, especially with this game in hand and being 6 points with that game in hand if we win behind Man City. So if Ruben Diaz can come and perform the good, I see Mane out, and I do see that Harvey Elliott coming in, Thiago. That's just going to bring the most spice into the team. Going into February, I see lots of winning games for Liverpool.
Can I say something to the Liverpool fan? 1 minute. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to make it. City, all right, they're 9 points ahead. You have a few games in hand, but even if you win those games in hand, there's no way City are going to let the title slip. No, no chance at all. So you can hope, but only hope. And if plus. Without VAR and certain referees, you ain't got no chance. So forget it.
Yeah, true. But,
and if they say that the fight for the title isn't over, then why aren't we in the discussion? We played you guys. You saw how we dealt with you guys. You guys are
No.
better.
No.
I have no disrespect for Chelsea.
Listen. Short time. You guys probably haven't spoken to Easy Smokes before. Easy Smokes, he has a very balanced opinion. He has a lot of respect and a lot of love for Chelsea. We've had him on the stream many times before. Easy Smoke is a fan of this channel. He's a fan of the content. Hold on, Nick. We've actually also what's the word here? We've actually put statements. We've told him you're a fake Liverpool fan. You're actually a Chelsea fan. We've said that to him in the past. I've said to him because he came on. Yeah, he came on. He came on the other day with a Liverpool tracksuit, and I said to him, "I bet if you were to unzip it, I will see a Chelsea shirt underneath it." And this is Easy Smoke. So I don't want anyone to think that he is here to troll or he is here to banter us. On the contrary, he's here to give a balanced opinion, and I've always enjoyed talking to him. So, and again, we welcome fans from all football clubs to come in and discuss and talk to us with respect and with We want to get their opinion. We want to get a balanced view on this channel. So, thank you for coming on. Thank you.
I respect Champions League winners. I don't respect Man City. Man City will never be granted a Champions League. They can try. They'll spend another 2 billion.
I hope you're right.
No way, no.
But
can I ask you a question about something you said before?
1 second, Dicker. I'm surprised, for a Liverpool fan to respect us so much. I'm just so surprised because usually we don't get this. We get all slander from them. You know what I mean? But you're a good guy.
Terrific team.
Yeah.
Chelsea's a terrific
one
team.
second.
I like
One second, guys. One second. To Calista, I missed your private chat. If you can still hear me, thank you for coming on. It was really good to have you on the stream today, and hopefully we will see you in future streams. To Calista, take care, my brother. What happened to Easy Smoke? Easy Smoke, come back.
You cut him off in the wrong time.
No, I didn't cut him off. I talked. He's back. Internet issue.
I think I scared him off, Mo.
No. He's back. It was an internet issue.
Hey,
all right, guys. I'm gonna change to the final topic. The final topic is surrounding Ousmane Dembele. Or the way we should actually pronounce it is Ousmane Dembele. So he is looking, or it's looking like he will be pushed out because Barcelona. Well, take it easy, Nick. It was like, yeah. So it looks like Dembele will be pushed out before the end of this transfer window. Because he's not going to sign an extension and they don't want to lose him on a free. Apparently, he has been linked with a couple of clubs in the Premier League. One of those clubs is Chelsea. It looks like Chelsea may be negotiating to bring him in. We've talked about Dembele many times on this channel. Couch Critic has brought up figures and stats to show his injuries over the past 5 seasons. He has a horrendous record when it comes to injuries, especially to his knees and his hamstring. They are the two key injuries that he keeps getting. Now, Chelsea going in for Dembele. Does it make sense? Will they do that in the next few days? Will they bring him in the next few days? Why didn't Chelsea go in for a left wing back during this window? And we've seen a ton of left wing backs swap clubs, move from one club to the other. Some of them were our targets. Some of them we looked at, but we didn't make any moves. The only one that it seemed like we were slightly interested in was Dest from Barcelona. And now it looks like we're looking to bring in Dembele. Do you guys think this is a move if we were to do it? Do you guys think that Dembele should be a player to look at? Because I know a lot of people, and I've read in the chat, especially today, there's a lot of divided opinion in respect to Dembele because undoubtedly he is talented. Undoubtedly he is a fantastic player. But at the same time, undoubtedly he is injury prone. Now, is he injury prone because he's at Barcelona and he's not motivated to play? Doesn't want to play? He's unhappy? He's uncomfortable? Well, we know all of the above is true, but is that why he's injured? Or is it because he is made out of glass and, the slightest knock, knees, slightest knock, hamstring, the slightest knock, whatever, is on that list. Dembele, good investment, bad investment, leave, keep. What do you guys think about him? Don't all jump at once.
I thought you were going to pick someone out. I can lead the way. I can lead the way like I did before.
Sure, go ahead.
Where I thought people were going to disagree with me. Maybe it's a case. I've heard a lot of people not wanting him for his injuries, and I'm on the fence. But I can entertain an idea where at first, if this is all true, at first I thought Tuchel was looking for an ally player because it's one of someone that played under him. I can entertain Dembele if the whole business side of it was surrounded about getting him fit to play, because I can understand it's a World Cup year as well. So a lot of players, especially him, he probably wants to make the France squad and play. And for if the contract was ideal and everything around it was based on just getting him fit, I can maybe entertain the idea of Dembele and his team. But then it goes back to, is he a type of player that suits the way we want to play? To me, he's almost another winger that we're going to try shoe in the front three and expect him to do a little bit of a different role. Or is he going to come back and play wing back, which we desperately need? Then you can also make a case. What you brought up, Mo, is I heard that at Dortmund he got no injuries, and then as soon as he went to Barca, he started getting all these injuries. And I've heard of some players complaining about any little niggle when they don't feel like playing. So and it sounds like there's been a lot of unsettled. He's been unsettled there, not at a good time. He's being forced out, and maybe there is some more to the story. But I'm more no, because he sounds like he's going to be a bag of problems. But I could entertain the idea if we were going to get him on the cheap, and if there was a lot of focus around, and his contract was around him playing, right? And he may get him fit because he wants to play the World Cup and a whole bunch. And maybe there is a second chance for him because he's not that old.
Yeah, no, he's I think he's 24 years old. People in the chat, I want you to give me 4 clicks. Where's my camera? 4 clicks. I want you guys to give me 4 clicks. First click is like. Second click is subscribe. Third click, you turn that bell notification button on. And the fourth click, I want you to answer my survey in the chat. Should Chelsea buy Dembele? Yes or no? Okay, so click like, click subscribe, click the bell notification button, and then click that survey question. I want to get your opinion on this story. Before we continue, Chris, you're late, man. Where you been?
I know. I've been busy, but I'm here. That's all that matters. How is everybody?
Welcome, Chris. Welcome, Chris. Let me hear your thoughts on Dembele.
So Ousmane Dembele, the guy. I said I wasn't willing to take Hazard because of his injuries, so I can't really say I can take Dembele. However, that being said, if Tuchel wants him, then yeah, by all means, I'm behind it. But as long as it's not going to be a lot of money, that's all. I don't want us to spend 30+ million on him. You know what I mean? If it's a free, by all means. But yeah, in terms of, I think we should be looking at other targets, to be fair. But as I say, if Tuchel wants him, then Tuchel wants him, and I'm behind that. But in terms of his injuries, I just think he's just one of them players that what could have been. You know what I mean? What could have happened if he just was, stayed injury free? But yeah, we'll see what happens. He probably will be at Chelsea. So.
Yeah. I just want to address the comment here by Mr. Miz. I subscribed and I'm a Liverpool fan. Listen, thank you for doing that. Much appreciated. And look, this is a football channel and a Chelsea channel. And it's always good to have fans from different clubs in the chat, because it makes it that more diverse, that more worthwhile, because having fans from different clubs, different perspectives, debating and discussing these issues will only enhance the value and the quality of the debate. So, Mr. Miz, thank you for being here. And I know there's there's actually about 4 or 5 Liverpool fans in the chat that I've seen today. And the fact that I can see them in the chat, that means they've subscribed. So thank you to all the Liverpool fans who subscribed today. Thank you to all the Arsenal fans who also subscribed earlier today. I'm not sure if they're unsubscribed, but thanks to everyone who has subscribed to the channel. And again, thank you for taking part in the poll. We have so far 37 votes, and 57% say yes, 43% say no. Lads, is just under 150 of you in here, so take part in that poll. Let's get a better sample size in respect to the opinion. So just click yes or no. Go on, Boogie, take it away.
The shock of seeing the result of the poll is I don't understand it, because my view is so simple, and I'm pretty sure my mind is that simplistic. It is a no. It's just a no. We have way too many wingers, and not only that, Dembele is injury prone. So why would I even think about it? And you remember when you were introducing Dembele, you said we need a wing back. We didn't even invest in it. For some reason, it seemed like the cash are really dry at Chelsea, or for some reason they just don't want to do the proper business this winter. And then Chelsea fans are still thinking because Dembele is on free or close to zero pound, let's have him and pay him 200 or 200 plus. For me, I don't see I don't understand it. Let me just put it that way. And I think Dembele should not be coming to Chelsea because he's not going to be worth it. And I don't think we should even look at it.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, I respect Chelsea fan. How do you say this? The survey, and if based on that,
to be fair, the survey is split 50-50 right now with 44 votes.
Now it's
50-50. Yeah.
So yeah, if he comes, I mean, he's a good player. He's 24. He's injury prone. Like a lot of people have said, maybe he just is not in the mind or in proper mind at Barcelona. Maybe he's even faking injuries. But again, I just don't see him at Chelsea, and I would not like to see him at Chelsea. That's my personal view.
Okay. All right. Can I ask you the finance VJ a quick question, the finance account? What is Christian Pulisic on a weekly basis?
Just a second.
150.
On a 150.
And we supposedly Dembele is willing to take a cut for 210, and we don't want to bring him in. I think bringing in Dembele, selling Pulisic, getting the likes of Barkley off our books is just the right thing to do. And if Tuchel wants him, you give him Tuchel what he wants. That is why the news came out about our attackers not being happy, because the news of Dembele is coming out that he's coming in. So that will cause a lot of uproar between our attackers or people that play in his position. Pulisic is not happy, but he went to the U.S. national team, and look at him. He's still not playing superbly. He hasn't played well in a long time. And I don't know if I'm the only fan that isn't pleased with Pulisic, but I would like to see him go in the summer and bring in somebody that Tuchel actually favors, and that's Dembele. Okay, he has injuries. Are those injuries going to is his injuries outweighing the fact that he can still play? I'd rather have a Dembele on one left leg than a Christian Pulisic on both left legs. It's proven.
Can I just jump in?
One second, guys. I want to bring in a new member in the stream, in the chat. LFC J25, welcome to the stream.
Yeah. I just want to ask you, Showtime, how much you will sell him, Pulisic?
Hold on. Acknowledge the welcome. Welcome to the stream.
He's boiling. Just let him talk.
To be fair, yeah. Okay, thanks, guys. Thank you for allowing me. So, welcome to this.
Continue.
Yeah, I just want to ask to Showtime, how much would you sell Pulisic for?
I mean, it depends what comes in. If it's more than what we paid for him, yeah, no problem. I have no problem doing that. But we're not going to get more than it. If it's less than 10 million, less of what we paid for him, okay, I don't have a problem with selling Pulisic because he's not coming in and proving himself at all. It's not. I can't remember the last time he had a swell game, a swell match for us. If you can name one, then please do. But if I have to, and you know I love Marina, but if she's looking at it based on the revenue that he brings in from the US, she has to get over it because we want to win, and Pulisic is not a factor to our winning at all, honestly.
And Shota, you're from US, right?
Yeah, I'm in the States.
Okay,
yeah.
good. Okay, good. And that was just a quick question.
But let me just tell you, in the States, people don't scream Christian Pulisic anywhere. And I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't know anybody in my circle that screams, "Oh, Pulisic this and that." I only know his name because he plays for the Blues. If I'm being honest with you.
Can I just jump in on this whole players complaining or players not being happy that they're not? Players that want to play in their position, right? This is what's starting to really wind me up because even though it's from, I'm not going to say the journalist's name, we all know who he is. You know, very
Matt Law, you can say it.
Yeah,
but
I don't really want to say it because I don't really like it.
All
To be fair. But
right.
in terms of these players that are apparently unhappy, look, focus on your performances. Yeah, you are playing for Chelsea Football Club. You're not playing for Pulisic Football Club. You're not playing for Hudson-Odoi Football Club. You're not playing for all the other attackers that are, apparently, not happy with whatever, right? Look, this is just, just focus on your performances, honestly. But, if you're unhappy, by all means, that's fine. But do they even want to be unhappy, considering the performances they've been putting in? They've not been performing well anyway. So instead of moaning about, Tuchel's not playing me there, Tuchel's not playing me there, perform instead of moaning. You know what I mean? It's getting to the point where it's like, just stop moaning. Every week, moan. I don't want to do that. I don't want to play in that position. It's just really pathetic, to be honest. Pathetic.
100%, Chris. I say the same thing. I'm tired.
I just want to say, if I can, Chris, you're a top man. I love you, man. Honestly, Chris is pure Chelsea. He's a very young man, but he's also very old school. He knows what time of day it is. You can see the fact that he loves the club and all this nonsense in and around the club. He knows it's toxic. I actually wanted to lend a voice to this Dembele situation because I'm slightly neutral. One thing I certainly do not want, if it's down to me, is any kind of sale of Pulisic. I mean, come on, when are we going to learn? When are we going to get off this microwave bus? Sometimes Pulisic is a young player, very young. What is he, 22? He's had a lot of injuries himself. He's going to go through slight dips in form. I mean, goodness me, Mason Mount hasn't been ripping up trees. He's dipped a bit of form. This happens to young players. This happens when you're building from your academy. It happens. A player like Pulisic, if you let him go, it's going to be another Mo Salah story. So forget that. The only thing I'm interested in right now is this story that is trying to be pushed out there about Dembele. It's amusing and it's serious at the same time. In that, you ask yourself, just like we had with Saul Niguez. Now, we all know Barcelona, they're broke. They've got money problems. But they're not stupid. Why on earth would Barcelona twice publicly insist on one of their assets leaving, even if he is winding down his contract, coming out for him to leave? If he was such a brilliant player, such a great future prospect, I don't think Barcelona will be doing that. I think they'll be finding diplomatic ways to keep him. And so my antenna's up here. I'm a little bit concerned about this one. The only thing is that if by some unlikely chance it happens, it'll be a Tuchel choice. And if it's Tuchel's choice, it's my choice. But if you ask me, I don't have a good feeling about him at all.
Wasn't Barca asking him to take a pay cut?
Yeah, and they proposed a contract to him that he didn't want to sign. That's why they want him out.
Yeah, so for Barca, we're trying to be diplomatic.
But in regards to what he just said about Christian, right? He has a dip in form for how many seasons? How many? This is going on his third season with us, and he's been out of form for 2 seasons in a row.
No, he hasn't been out of form for 2
When
seasons.
has he produced? What has he? He scored 1 goal against Liverpool, and all of a sudden he's not. He's back in form.
Keep it down, man. I mean, I
This is a
understand
guy
that.
that's had to
Don't-
come back from
you can't-
from several injuries.
Okay, and then we just talked about Dembele's injuries. So what is the difference between Dembele's injuries and Pulisic's injuries? Pulisic hasn't been performing with the badge, and he's complaining to the media in the US about he's not liking the way he's playing, this and that, complaining. If you're not happy, then see your way out. Arrivederci. We don't need this. We have enough. We have to bring if Tuchel wants Dembele, you bring him in and you get rid of somebody that he doesn't want. And I can bet you that Christian Pulisic is top 3 on that list.
Okay.
Can I just say that
I'm not a gambling man.
I think with Pulisic, when Tuchel came in, we were all told that he's worked with Tuchel before. Tuchel knows his game. He's going to get the best out of him. I haven't seen much of it. If anything, he's probably been one of the least favored out of all the wingers. Probably played the least games, even when he's been available. I remember when Tuchel came in, he hardly played in the first 4 or 5 games. And when I look at the pecking order, he's last for me. I think Hudson-Odoi is ahead of him. I think Ziyech. I'm talking about in the manager's eyes. Ziyech is ahead of him. Werner is ahead of him. Havertz is ahead of him. Mason Mount is definitely ahead of him. So. But we're gonna have to tell somebody that's just the question. I don't know which player is gonna be.
Can I add something quick?
It's an interesting
Hold on,
situation.
Let me add before I forget. Yeah, you said all these things about Pulisic, but don't forget he's still young. He gets injured. All right, we know that. But what's the point of bringing in Dembele, who is also same injury prone like a Pulisic? Which all right, he's young as well, but I don't see any point in it.
Well, I think we
don't know if those injuries are.
I think one. If you look,
Pulisic, wait a minute, man. Pulisic hasn't been off form for 2 years. He had a great season. Was it last year?
No, with Frank
when he
Lampard,
first
that was
come
his
in.
only good season.
He had a good season.
Lampard got sacked.
I don't forget about
League,
who's had a good season this year.
Exactly. That's where I'm going. Thanks,
No
Nick.
one has had a good season.
That's where I was
this
going.
year.
And
So you can't blame everything on Pulisic.
Exactly.
Yeah, but the rest.
We're not blaming him. We're not
But
blaming him.
No, I mean, well,
Nick,
if you saw,
the
wait
rest.
a minute, man, you don't let anyone talk. In his comments, he didn't say anything bad about Tuchel or he's not playing him the right. He said, my favorite position is, around left wing, but, I'm prepared to play wherever they put me, wherever Tuchel puts me. That's all rubbish what the Presser or Matt Law rubbish and all this, but, Pulisic, he's got potential still, and I don't want him to live for us to sell him and become another Salah or someone like that. Then or De Bruyne, then we'd be crying again. You know what I mean?
I agree with you.
Hold on, guys, hold on. Wait. Pulisic is a very talented player. Pulisic will be a great player. He will. The only issue is, can he stay injury-free? Because an injury-free Pulisic is one of the best wingers out there right now. He has pace. He has good dribbling ability. He can finish. And he has good vision. So Pulisic is a fantastic all-round player. The issue is, can he be injury-free?
All these things that you mentioned.
The same can be said in respect to Dembele. Dembele is also a very talented player. But again, his problem is fitness. Now, can we get the best out of Dembele? Well, the same question will be, why aren't we getting the best out of Pulisic? A player who has been with us for quite some time, but the best form that we've seen from him is post-pandemic, post-lockdown. Then he had the injury in the FA Cup in the final, and he's never been the same. He's had good performances. He's had the odd game here or there. He's had the odd period where he hasn't been injured, but he's not been there for a season. He's not been there for half a season without being injured. So that is an issue in respect to Pulisic, and we can expect the same thing from Dembele, unless the issue is not injuries, but it's actually a motivational, a morale issue when it comes to him and Barcelona. I want to go back and look at the poll, and to be fair, the poll, we've had almost 100 votes. We've had 98 votes. 57 of you have voted yes, we should buy him, and 44 have voted no. Now, in respect to the poll, in respect to the fan base, we always will welcome the addition of a new player, especially when he's a player that has been, that has potential, that has the ability to improve the squad, and we all hope that by bringing him in, he will do that. Just as we hoped with Saúl Ñíguez, just as we hoped with Lukaku, Timo Werner, and other players. Unfortunately, it hasn't panned out quite to that expectation. Now, the jury is still out in respect to Lukaku because he's, still early doors in respect to him at Chelsea. Saúl Ñíguez he's a player on loan, so our threshold for giving him the benefit of the doubt is a little bit more limited. But a lot of the players are going to have to do something this season, for the rest of the season, before they can secure themselves or their position in the team moving forward for next season. I think Chelsea Football Club will make a lot of sales. Chelsea Football Club will address the squad. We will need to address the squad because this squad needs to be Tuchel's squad. The players that we have in the squad, changes will have to be made. I'll give you an example. In respect to Hakim Ziyech, we've all seen the improvement in his performance since he started playing in a 4 at the back system. No doubt Hakim Ziyech in a 4 at the back system is a different player to Hakim Ziyech in a 5 at the back system. So is Tuchel going to play that formation more often to accommodate Hakim Ziyech? Should Tuchel play that formation more often to accommodate a particular player? You see, these are the questions that we're going to need to look at, because when we need to move forward, we need to move forward with the Tuchel system rather than a player system. Everyone knows that I have a lot of respect and I have a lot of time for Hakim Ziyech. But for me, no player comes before the club. No player comes before the team. No player comes before the success of the club and the team. Therefore, I want to see the best players that can be employed for Tuchel's system. So whatever changes we need to make them to the request of Tuchel, to the benefit of Tuchel and his system. We will be making sales. We will be making some change. And it needs to be done with Tuchel's recommendations. I don't want to see us just getting a left winger or a left wing back because Tuchel wants a left wing back. No, I want Chelsea to get the left wing back that Tuchel wants, or a left wing back that has the attributes that Tuchel wants. Because I want to see this team being molded in the way that Tuchel wants it, just as Pep was able to mold Man City to his requirements and Klopp, Liverpool, to his requirements. I want Chelsea to be molded into Tuchel's requirements. And that's how we should be seeing this. Not Pulisic, not Dembele, not Mo Salah, no, we don't care about names. We care about what the team needs in respect to players that will fit Tuchel's system.
Mo, I do have something that I wanted to add. Can I? All right. Now, I was just listening to everyone about this Pulisic and Dembele card decision. I just didn't want to talk anything before I have the proper stats right. I was just looking into the last 5 years of both these players. Right. One thing that I was able to observe is that Pulisic, on an average, has been playing 25 games a season. Okay, even though he's got his own injury records from 2018, he's been playing 25 games a season. I'm only talking about the league games. Okay, I've ignored the Champions League or the other competitions. Only the Premier League is 25 games a season.
25 league games a season.
Yep, 25, 27. Good. Yeah, that's very good actually. Yeah, but when it comes to Dembele, he's been super inconsistent. 2018 season, he's had a 29 gamer, and then he had a 5-game season. He had again a 27-game season. Back to again 6-game season, and now this particular season even more worse. So he's been inconsistent, and single game season is definitely not acceptable for any player. That's where I'm a bit concerned if he's even more injury prone than Pulisic. So it shouldn't be like a situation where we end up having to sell an injury prone player and get another injury prone player who is more prone to injury, who won't even get out of the bed, and we cannot afford to have that sort of a risk taken. But if Thomas, again, I'm going to stand by this point, it's all purely stats. All right, I don't know the player's current situation, current condition, current legs, and all of that. I'm not a medical expert either. These are the numbers that I just wanted to give you guys. But if Thomas Tuchel wanted to get Dembele in the squad, who am I to say no? I'll leave it at that.
25 games a season. What was his contribution to those games?
Hold on. Bobby.
So that's brilliant, VJ. VJ, he always really hits it home with his figures. I hear you. I'm uncomfortable with the Dembele thing. I see too much hope around it rather than evidence, and I see more evidence for the fact that we've had Christian Pulisic here, and it outweighs that of Dembele, and DJ has backed that up with stats. But, nobody has a crystal ball. You don't know the future. I don't know, what he'll turn out to be. I have my doubts because we've had this experience before. I would rather than us go and bring in Dembele, I would rather see us bring back Armando Broja.
Yeah, what I would like to add is anybody that said Pulisic has not done anything since the last 3 years or since Frank Lampard left, it's not true. I understand the fact that he was not available at the start of the season or a big part of this season, but last season, when Tuchel took over, Pulisic in Champions League was one of our major weapons against Real Madrid and a lot of games. So this season, I just don't see any of the winger doing good. They had none of them. Like Mount was not good, Havertz was not good, and so just dump everything on Pulisic. I don't think it's fair to him at this time. So I just think if we want Dembele, if you want Dembele, 60% of our fans on them, bring it. But I don't think it should be at the cost of losing Pulisic, because this season is one of those odd ones. I just don't understand what our wingers are doing. I don't know. I do not understand what's going on with those people.
Boogie, people are talking about Pulisic like he's Iron Robin.
Hold on. I'm gonna have to end the stream for time constraints. Dembele, 60% of the people in the chat want him to come. 40% are against it, and that's a sample size of 134 votes. I apologize for cutting you off, Podfather. I know this is a topic that we can sit here for a good couple of hours talking about, and we may address it again because I might be doing a transfer deadline day stream, so it may take up until the last day of the window before Chelsea do bring somebody in. I don't think Chelsea will make any signing in this window, but we'll have to wait and if something happens on the last day. Something could happen on the last day. Listen, people, thank you to everyone who has taken part in the stream, especially the people in the chat. Some great debates, great conversations, great discussions, great to see a lot of new names in the chat for today's stream. So big up to everyone who's been here. Big up to everyone who has subscribed. Big up to everyone who has joined the panel. Also, new faces joined the panel today and discussed the 3 different topics. Thanks to everyone for being here. Thanks for everyone for taking part. If you haven't hit that like button, I'd ask you to do it before you leave the stream. And if you haven't subscribed, I also ask you to hit that subscribe button before you leave the stream. We will be back possibly tomorrow, if not in the next couple of days, and we will discuss more Chelsea-related topics. Have a good night, lads, and peace out.
Thanks.
Up to Chelsea.
Up the Blues.
Yeah.